can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Shoot faster, explode more.
The wasteland is the host of apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 552nd edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, hello.
And also Jess. What's going on, Jess?
Hey, Andrew, greets everybody.
Tonight on the show, we are doing our roundtable stuff over there in New Vegas this week and next week. We're going out to not the divide. What's it called? The long something
Yes,
road.
it's the divide.
Long road, the divide. It's all together. What's it all?
Together it is known as the Lonesome Road.
The Lonesome Road. The big, long, lonesome road. That one.
Why you're confused because they keep talking about the Long 15 and the Lonesome Road and the Divide, and there's a lot of talking.
There's too many in there. All right. So we're going to be messing around with that over the next couple weeks. Next week we'll hear feedback from our community folks. If you're interested in joining up in any of our roundtable extravaganza, hit us up, followfeed@gmail.com. Tell us all your adventures in a 5-minute feedback. Love to hear your stories. All right, guys. Let's see. Tonight we'll go over some gameplay. Got Game Time Mohapalachia. We're dealing with, of course, the place we are. I like to do that. So what's it called? Long Road? Divide Road. The Divided Road, Mapalachia. And
Yes.
the Courier Mile.
the Courier
The
7.
very straight path through a sunny valley.
Yes, that is what it's called. There's bunnies. Lots of bunnies. Not the ones you think, though. Email. We got an email sparked off of a, funny that we would be confused about any sort of topic and have a
Andrew
conversation about
rumination.
something. Yeah, just like, but we actually have a knowledgeable person who sent in an explanation about our bombs versus missiles versus rockets discussion last week. So a professional give us a brief explanation on the differences there. Roundtable stuff, like I mentioned earlier, we'll be heading down the long road. Iguana bits on our way out the door. So let's go ahead, roll right into it, see what everybody's been up to this week, and see if Jess, have you had a chance to play the video games?
Not much I can talk about besides
Oh, no.
Lonesome Road and a little Fallout New Vegas.
I think it's called the Long
played-
Divide now.
The long division. You know what I mean? It's all about mathematics, the long division.
Yes.
But better than a subdivision, because then we'd be back in Sanctuary Springs. I've been on a retro games kick, so I was actually playing some retro games a little bit this week and a little bit, more cats and stuff. Nothing I really need to get into besides New Vegas, but that was fun. Also, the great Dr. Pepper search continued. So a girl cannot get Dr. Pepper brats. It's just not happening that I could find. Okay. But excitedly, if you guys haven't seen yet in grocery stores, there are new Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew flavors. There's some kind of big summer American Dew event going on, and you can get Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. You can get Dr. Pepper and Cream. You can get Dr. Pepper Blackberry, Dr. Pepper Strawberries and Cream, Baja Blast Mountain Dew, Dirty Dew. They're calling it Dirty Mountain Dew.
Dirty Mountain Dew. I saw that, and I was like, I really want. I don't know why, but I didn't.
Is that with pickle juice?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
no.
olive juice.
No.
What is it? What's a dirty martini made?
It's not
Yeah, it's
dirty.
with olive.
No, it's not martini. It's dirty Diet Coke is what the reference is. Not dirty martinis. It's dirty Diet Cokes. Big in the the Utah big. They don't have alcoholic beverages, so they go overboard with their soda pop mixed drinks, and it's sort of spread all over the country now. We've got Twisters and all those other drink places.
I had
now.
no idea that's where it came from. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
yeah,
are they
yeah.
calling it dirty?
Dirty-
I assumed like Ray, like a dirty martini,
No.
where you're doing the
Yeah,
olive,
yeah.
or if you like it extra filthy, like
And
fully
a
dirty.
a
and,
dirty Diet
lots of
Coke
extra olive.
is Diet Coke with either half and half or whipping cream and
Oh.
coconut, which I don't like coconut, and some people put a little splash of lime.
Yeah, some people like, no, I have seen people who like the coconut milk or the milk in their Pepsi or whatever. Yeah, no, not doing that. But so they advertised all these. They got all of these in. Well, the problem is a lot of them aren't diet. So I had done my groceries at Aldi. I'm
yeah.
not going to go on a big long tangent here, but I'd done Aldi groceries, and you can't get your soda at Aldi really because they just got, weird
Yeah,
brands
they
or
got
nothing.
the
So I
European
went and I
generic stuff,
checked Instacart, and I'm like, oh my God, look at all these amazing Snoodies. And they had them all in diet. And you could buy like
Nuh-uh.
2 cases, get 2 cases free. So a girl ordered
2
8
cases.
varieties of
She now
whack
has
ass Snoodies.
96
the
cans of pop
blackberry.
showing up.
And the strawberry. I'm like, I'm gonna stack them up. I put some in the pantry, put the rest in the fridge. It's gonna be awesome. And so I do this. It was all lies. So I'm there, and I did this through Instacart too. So my shoppers there, like, yeah, they don't have this. Oh, they don't have this. Oh, they don't have this. They had the non-diet version, but they only had diet of the Dr. Pepper and cream, the Pepsi Wild Cherry and cream,
Boom.
and the Dirty Dew. So I got 3 of those cases, and then kind of had to try to negotiate through an app on what I wanted for the rest, and just like refund the rest. I don't need all this Snoodies. I was being wackadoo. So anyway, but
So it was like, you having a party? No.
just me.
Just stocking up for the week.
I'm gonna be smashing a can of Dew and smashing a can of Dr. Pepper. It's that Dr. Pepper, But what it was, I think, it was the whole fulfillment of the fact that I could not get these Dr. Pepper brats I've been craving. So when I saw this, I just went hog wild.
This is a thing now. We're gonna have to get a sponsorship from the Johnsonville brat people to send you a pack of these Dr. Pepper brats.
They keep saying, "Oh, Speedway has them." No, Speedway doesn't have them. Speedway doesn't have them, and I just 7-Eleven
My
doesn't.
TV
have
lies
them.
to
Here.
me.
Such lies. National chain my butt. So, but these are actually pretty tasty. So I'm enjoying the Dr. Pepper.
Which
and
one
cream
you got?
This is Dr. Pepper and cream right
Dr.
here.
Pepper and cream?
The little blonde guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Dirty Dew is good. Like they're actually the wild cherry and cream. I'm not so sure about that.
Oh,
It's a little
that's
funky.
the one I think would work the best. I'm really skeptical of the dirty Mountain Dew, but you seem that
was
one is
fine.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, I got Diet Mug root beer too, which because
Oh,
you can't beat a
that
good
one
mug
actually
root beer.
works. Root beers. Everyone thinks that Coke Zero or something's like the best diet beverage, but I think Diet Root Beer and Diet Sunkist are the 2 closest things to what actual sugary versions taste like.
So the Shoveler's in chat, and he says wild cherry and cream was good. So he's had it. That's awesome. So here's my thoughts on it. The and cream on these, a little bit different than you expect. So I expected them to be more like cream soda, but they're not. It's almost like a float, which I love floats, but it's almost like they took wild cherry Pepsi and then added like vanilla ice cream flavor to it. So it's not quite what you expect. It's really rich. It's good. It's good. But right now, the Dr. Pepper and cream is my favorite, and it does taste a lot like a mild root beer.
Used to have that drive up A&W root beer stand at my town when I was a kid. We used to go get root beer floats. It was the best.
Oh, that is the best. Anyway, all I can say is it's no Vim. You know what I mean? It's no Vim, but it's good.
Kapow!
And that was my newest excitement this week in the eternal quest for the Dr. Pepper brats.
The quest continues.
Yeah, beyond that, just doing a bunch of fun stuff. Some editing videos and all that for the play, which didn't come out but will soon, and some stuff for the Wasteland Jamboree happening this weekend. And
So did we want to roll over there to Ray, see what Ray's been playing?
I'd love to.
Ray, did you have a chance playing video games this week, sir?
I did, and I didn't. I don't do sugary soft drinks, whether real or fake sugars.
Mm-hmm.
So I stick with my boring old tangerine LaCroix.
LaCroix.
But your LaCroix are so good, Ray. You got me into those. I get tangerine, I get the blackberry, and I just tried lime. Lime was good.
I'm pretty much stuck on the tangerine.
My wife loves all those fizzy waters. I wrote off fizzy water the first time I went to Europe in the 90s, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was just like, no, carbonated water sucks.
Well, so much of that is mineral water.
Oh, it's the bitter fucking, hate it.
And
It
so
just sucks.
It's I know how to make this really gross water taste better. Let's carbonate it.
I love my Pellegrino too. I really do. It's really tasty.
But not a big shock. I played Starfield.
Ooh. Not the Star Wars version, though. He's still on
No, I'm still
vanilla.
on real Starfield.
but not
yeah.
vanilla. You wait. No, you were vanilla for a while, right?
Yeah, briefly.
But you started modding again.
Yeah. There's certain mods that I just have to be able to play it. Mostly the UI stuff. I can't. I just can't handle the stock UI. So I had started the geology character, and I put way too many restrictions on that character to really be fun. I started up another science character, and this one was a
different
little bit
nerd.
Yeah.
This one's a chemistry nerd.
But
he was too good with the physics guy too, and they all fought.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money in the science field in Starfield.
No, not a lot of ways to earn the buckaroos.
What's the purpose of scanning everything? Just for knowledge, for the knowledge sake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knowledge resources.
You're not
and
actually
you can
exploring. You can sell for credits. Okay.
No, I can bitch a little bit about the fact that, I'm not sure whose knowledge it is that you're enhancing, but it is not the database. All of the plants that you scan in Starfield come up with this nice detailed, description of the plant, what resources they supply, what biomes they're typically found in, and all that, great information that unless you commit to memory right then, you'll never find again.
There's no log anywhere.
It doesn't log anywhere. If you want to find a particular resource, like say you want fiber, you can go to the database. It'll tell you everywhere where you found fiber. As far as the planet goes, won't tell you what on the planet. It won't tell you where on the planet. It just somewhere on this planet there is fiber. Go find it again.
It's not super exact like that. No.
I did discover, so one of the things that this character did was he worked on the planetary habitation skill, which lets you build outposts on, progressively harsher climate, planets. And when you're done, you have to have built 20 outposts. Now, if you want to keep track of those outposts, there is a very handy feature in the database that lets you not only, open up a tab and see all of your outposts listed, but if you click on them, it lets you fast travel to them.
That's very convenient.
It is very convenient.
And it's something that we didn't even have through mods before, really. Not that really. I know of. None of the ones I used did that. Like Astrolabe would show you where the outposts were, but you still had to, navigate there.
Yeah. It does list them in alphabetical order. Renaming your outposts is handy if you want them to show up in any particular order or provide you with any particular information about them. I would usually start off with Vessel 3 because that's kind of the base. You go to Mount Nika and
that's the grinding location.
Yeah. And, get your foothold so that you have the supplies to be able to make all of these other bases. I rename that, to be, A and then Mount Nico. And that way, that's always the first one because that's the one you want to go to. When you start your run through all of your other bases, you start at Bessel, you sleep, for a couple hours, and then that fills up all your other bases. And then you go between each one of them and gather up your goodies and away you go. I found that to be a more handy way than the stock way. Once I got to 20, it was like, where was I? I don't really even know because it doesn't tell you where you're at currently. You have to remember.
Right.
When you're hopping through a bunch of different systems, it's not always easy to remember. Know which one
you
am I at?
You can
lose
lose track of when you're hopping too quickly. Yeah, I tend to name my favorite bases, but I don't name all of them.
Yeah.
But just name your favorites. Now with the shared outpost container as well, are you able to mostly just put resources in there and pick them up in another outpost? Is that working?
No, I'm a big fat ugly PC cheater.
Oh,
I have universal stash.
even better. Okay, let's just stash it all together. Beautiful.
So that was a lot of fun. That took up pretty much my whole week. Yesterday and today, I played more on my smuggler character, which is the one I really enjoy doing. So finally got him up to a high enough level to to get some better ship parts and better weapons. So the update and the way that they changed POIs definitely had a big impact on farming, high-end gear and weapons.
POI, point of interest, person of interest. What is POI?
Point of interest.
Point of interest.
Because now, after the first collapsed mine I go to on a planet, I'm not going to get another collapsed mine. It takes it off the list. And so in order to get to another one, you got to go to another planet and search there. So
what's the benefit of a collapse mine?
So a collapsed mine gives you, if you go in a high level system, at 50 or higher, you're guaranteed to find advanced gear. And so you get a jetpack and a helmet at your collapsed mine. And then the other thing you look for is a Mui Bridge science facility. And that's going to give you your advanced weapons and armor. Those two locations in a high level system can set you up, for a strong character without much fighting. So there's no fighting at the mine if you go on a moon that has no creatures.
So you just find it in a chest or something?
No, they're on the ground inside the cave.
Oh, okay.
And then the Mui Bridge facility, if you run up and go to the back door, you can get to the weapons without having to fight anybody. And so that's pretty handy.
But you're talking about doing the stuff at like low levels, going to high levels. So you basically don't have any sneak or anything yet, right?
No.
So
you're just running as fast as you can, hoping nobody sees you, and grabbing the stuff and running out.
That's pretty great.
So, yeah. But no, so my science character was a lot of fun. There's a lot of interesting perks, in that skill tree. It's astrodynamics is pretty handy.
What is
because that'll help
what's
you.
What's that the study of?
It improves your jump drive distance.
Oh, okay.
So early on, that can make the difference between being able to get to all of the different systems.
Beyond Serpentis.
Yeah. Serpentis you can get to without any help. Just a lot of jumps. So whenever I do that, it's always I put all of the points into grav drive and no points into weapons because I'm not shooting anybody. I'm just getting the hell out. It's only a couple of seconds that you have to survive a fight as long as you've got your grav drive fully spun up.
I thought that you weren't allowed to jump if there were enemies present or whatever.
No, you can't. You can't travel to a planet surface in that system.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go to a different system.
You can grab, jump out, and
away.
escape.
Oh.
Yep. It's kind of like in classic RPGs where you could like choose the flee option and you have a chance to, run away from the enemy.
Yep. The one that's harder to get to that's pretty handy is the anitronic fusion. That's where it adds extra power points to your reactor. But that one, that's a level 4 skill, so you got to have a lot of points already into science to get to that one. And then the skill challenge on that is to destroy ships. And so you've also got to have a strong enough ship
Yeesh.
that you can destroy other ships. that means you're also spending a lot of points in tech.
Is there a reverse pickpocket / poisoner version of ship battling? Like you plant a secret mine on their ship somehow undetected and they fly off and then explode as
No.
they fly away, or anything fun like that?
No.
A little espionage, like attach a mine to the bottom. Come on, that'd be fun. I'm just so fucking bad at the space battle part.
Just takes a little practice. Just a little practice and upgrading your ships and weapons. That's really the biggest part. Like I say practice, but really just
issue.
upgrading the ships and
Yeah.
weapons helps.
Yeah, get rid of the laser weapons and the ballistic weapons and put on particle beams, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll be
Yep.
a lot better off.
And maybe some auto turrets on the back. Make sure they're powered and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I have
and-
this list somewhere. You guys instructed me exactly what to do at one point. I went through and I was like, oh man, I don't know why I find it so incredibly difficult to put a ship together in this game. I can usually understand Bethesda's the systems, the weapons and armor modding, all their, but the ship one, just for some reason, it just would not click with me. I don't know. Need to try it a third or fourth time, and maybe
Well, when we get
maybe
into your
it'll get me.
gameplay, I know you're doing a good bit of Fallout 4 too. So, a lot of jumping back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah. So then the only other thing I played was Fallout New Vegas.
We're just playing with sound a little bit too. So just if you wonder what Ray is doing, he's checking some sound or making sure everybody listening live can actually hear. So
Yeah. I was playing around with some delays and choruses and
Ooh.
reverb, and forgot I still had it turned on.
you were sounding wicked pretty. That's why we sounded funky to chat.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's all stuff that sounds better when you're singing than if you're talking.
I'm in a long hallway. Hey, we're in the big divide. You can hear us echoing.
Yeah, that's what you were hearing.
Yeah,
I was recording from the Courier Mile.
If you stand on the edge of the big divide, right next to where it says "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here," you can really get a gorgeous echo and really hear the mix.
The sound bounces off. Let's see. My gameplay for this week, I snuck back into Fallout 4, playing with I want to, start seeing all the new creations and stuff for the is it Anniversary Edition? No. Is that
I
what
am
it's called?
so excited for the creation to come out for the Anniversary Edition, Andrew, and I was waiting to talk to you about some of these. Did you see the
Okay.
newest one that just came out from a guy named Old Bard? It's called Bard's Followers, Pets, Robots,
No.
and Guards. It's
Tell
an
me about
extra
it.
large follower mod for you. It's a creation that's going to give you some custom animals. You can get dogs, cats, gorillas, Brahmins. You can get Brahmaliths. You can get Brahmaliths in there. Cyber dogs. Get some cyber dogs.
Bromalith? Like a heffalump?
Yeah.
I did notice some pretty cool stuff. Let's see, what did I notice? Oh, Brahmin armor. I was like, whoa, that'd be great for the little trader people you send on the trade routes. Because you see those Brahmin get blown up all the time, and they're cool, but they need some armor. All sorts of different color and paint jobs and stuff like that. But I haven't really explored any of the questing and stuff. I loaded up one. I don't even think this was a creation. I think this was just a mod that I loaded up earlier, but I never actually deployed. I had a previous character. I don't remember when I was playing this one, but it was I loaded it in. It was level 110, and I'm like, holy shit, that's this must be my highest level character ever, and it's not that long ago because I remember all these the cats.
We've had
and stuff. I
that
a cat
discussion of
farm.
how high we've gotten. That's probably
Yeah.
the highest you have gotten.
Oh,
110?
Easily,
Yeah.
that's the highest, yeah. But then I was wondering, how is this character so high? And then I was messing around in the build menu, and then Idiot Savant started procking like crazy. I'm like, oh, that's how my level got so high. It's I looked at my intelligence. Oh, intelligence 1 with Idiot Savant 3. That's why it's a 110 character. And then I remembered, I think this is when I was save scumming, when I would turn in quests. So
Yeah.
so it would I wouldn't it probably took longer in time. I could probably could have made up that XP just by going out and doing other stuff. But
Yeah,
got rid of
because
that
you can
character.
get 1,600 to 2,000 XP if you hit one of those good quests turned in.
Right. Yeah. So running around with that character, had a cat farm out at Sunshine's Tidings. I loaded up a mod that just gave more variation to the cat colorations, which I was really excited about. Because it's just like a few different cats before, but now I've got like Persians and Siamese and all sorts of crazy cats running around that farm. I was like, oh, this is so perfect.
That's awesome. I mean, your cats are very fluffy, real life, so, especially
yeah,
Dr. Bubbles there.
God Lord, he is laying all over me tonight. I don't know if I fell in his cat food or what are you doing, buddy? Yeah, he's kneading on me, and he just really wants the loving tonight. But so been playing lots of Fallout 4. Another mod that I loaded that I never actually really tried was the one that lets you take Lorenzo Cabot's helmet, because I always thought it was a tragedy. It was one of the coolest looking things in the game, but you could only ever take his suit. I think you could never actually take that cool looking helmet.
Right. Yeah, you've talked about this a bit. This is something you really wanted to do.
Yeah, so I ran through that as fast as I could. Grabbed did like a save before, grabbed the helmet and like tried it with and without, and I was like, will I let him go? I let him go, and then I reloaded and didn't let him go. Then I reloaded again and took the helmet, and I was like, no. Because Ray always said it's fun to have him walking around. I'm like, well, what are the chances of me actually playing this character and like running into him hours down the road? Like, I don't know if this is just like a continuation, just like testing some stuff out. Who knows? Anyway, I ended up reloading again, killing him, taking the helmet because I never actually gotten to wear it and run around before. And looking at the stats, and it's just got some weird like damage. I thought that I'd be able to like look at people and rub my temples and make their heads explode or something,
Sorry. The power is not from the headwear. It's from the ancient Egyptian artifact and stuff running through his veins. But,
Must have been. Lorenzo must have had something to do with that power as well.
Yeah, you got to let him live.
Yeah.
It's the only way to fly.
Only way to fly. I think I've found out that the helmet is really not, anything exciting. Like, I was wearing it for a couple hours just because I thought it looked fun, but I've already switched back to my other headwear I was wearing before.
Hey,
so
you had to do it. Sometimes it's all about the hunt, the journey, the quest. Once you get it, you're like, yeah, it's okay.
And I got so pissed off running back and forth between the north side of downtown to the Cabot House area and to Parks. Like, you have to run back and forth like six times. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Oh,
right, because you're in survival mode. So you're hoofing this on foot every time.
So I got so mad about doing that. I wish I would have done it before I did all this hoofing. But I went over to the Brotherhood. This character, I have Billy with me. I have the Brotherhood Squire with me. I have both of the kids running with me and Travis. And I got the Cyber Dog, who looks kind of like Rex from New Vegas. The Cyber Dog is pretty fun, and I've got Cat Meat with me, so I've got this whole fucking party running all over the place.
Followers.
So we went to
tell you about this new mod.
We went over to the Brotherhood to get the signal grenades. So now I can do the Vertibird signal grenades as well, and I should have done that before running back and forth between the Cabot House 12 times. I'm so mad. Ugh.
Oh, so you could have ridden a Vertibird. Oh, that would have been so smart.
I could have ridden a Vertibird, but I didn't think of it. I was just like, I just want to go I want to get that cool helmet. Let's go.
Hindsight is 20/20
Let's
miles.
run back and I'm a little chubby. I could run 12,000 miles in the next 3 days.
Get your steps in.
Yeah, no shit, I did in the last. Yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, ran around with Lorenzo's helmet. I've already taken it off, and the suit is only like a 2 charisma suit. It does have a really neat sort of like button up pattern, though. I do like his jacket. He's got a cool sort of 1800s vibe to it, or something.
Got a good
Pretty
neckline,
neat. Yeah,
snazzy.
it's neat. Let's see, what else did I get into? I hit 111 on that character. I thought that was, apt for Fallout 4. The character, my highest level character is now 111. Shelter. Steve was talking about Shelter last week, so I kind of got the bug in me. I didn't start the season because I was playing on Xbox, but I've started a new Shelter, and then I scrapped it and started a new one. And then I scrapped it and started a new, I don't know, I started 3 Shelters this week for some reason. And I wasn't trying anything really different. I just didn't like the way it started. You ever get that feeling? Just start over. And let's see what else. Roar's Fist. This will probably come up in the...
You got the Fist of Roar.
Yeah, this will come up in the gameplay stuff here for our roundtable stuff, but I had fun trying to get the fist made afterward because you had to have an unarmed of 75.
Mm-hmm.
When I noticed, I took a look at Roar's, the hand or whatever you get, and then I saw, oh wait, there's a recipe here. Let's look at that. Oh, it's okay, you have to have... I for some reason, read the first time a repair of 70. But no, it's in actuality...
Like unarmed of... I think 100 even. I think you might even need
It's
max.
unarmed, and I read 70, but it's actually 75.
Okay.
So that led to me, for 2.5 levels, I noticed that before I got to the end of the big Lonesome Road, and I was like, okay, so I've maxed out pretty much all of my stats that I was assigned. So like Ray mentioned last week, all of his stuff is he's just filling in the whatever. So okay, well maybe I'll do the unarmed thing to try to get this fun Roar's Fist thing, because I've never really played unarmed in New Vegas. I did the knives. I did Chance's knife and stuff, melee before, but the Deathclaw Gauntlet was one of my favorites in 76. So I was like, let's play with this thing, put some points into that. And so I was jacking all my points into that, leveled up another 3 times as I'm leaving the big Lonesome Road, and got all my levels. I was like, sweet, I got all the way up to 74. That's way over 70. I'll totally get to make this weapon. And then I go to the bench or whatever, and it's like, oh, you need a skill of 75 to make it. It's like, no. So then my next goal was going on a trip to try to find a whatever magazine. I forget what the magazine is called that helps unarmed pugilists weekly or something, So I went and found a magazine that I, thank God, had one in my stash at is it Victor's Shed or whatever in Good Spring.
I love that you're still keeping the stash there. That is,
That's
a
my
great
home.
early
That's
game
my
stash.
home, bro.
Yeah.
I have characters in Skyrim that still live in a niece's cabin. That's
Moving on up, but you didn't lose touch with your roots. A shack owned by a
hey,
robot.
that tree stump in Oblivion, I call that place fucking home too. Don't.
That was great. I saw somebody asked about a great
The
place
Rock.
to stash their stuff, and you Fallout 3, and you're like, The Rock.
The rock behind Megaton, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, in lieu of a home, a stump will do. You know what I mean?
A stump, a shack,
Yeah,
a rock. We live simply around here.
All right, let's see. What else did I need to mention? Oh, I read the magazine and made the fist thing, and it fucking kicks ass. I really like using it. So, advice to anybody going through it, hasn't done it yet. I think it's worth playing with if you haven't played with the Deathclaw Gauntlet thing yet.
Yeah,
Dude.
Ray's wanted to talk about some of the unique weapons when we get to talking about
nice.
Lonesome Road 2.
Yeah,
So
let's get into
that'll
it.
definitely be one we should probably talk about, because it is a killer Deathclaw Gauntlet.
Get
It's more like a
out.
Mantis Gauntlet kind of style. It's really
Oh.
good.
The Deathclaw hands are so long and creepy in this game. They're
Yeah.
like, ugh.
And the fingers spread apart so
Oh, they
much.
do. It's really strange. Unsettling almost.
But it does a lot of damage, and you're going to be glad you have it if you're doing melee as we continue with the game and into Dead Money. Which, by the way, what level are y'all at? I mean, I know we're not quite there yet to the DLC, but turns out my Jess character is 39
Holy shit.
because I am doing this on Jess, and yeah, she's made it up to 39.
Wow. I'm nowhere
Yeah.
near that. I'm low. I got like 3 or 4 levels on the big highway. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
30,
The big
30,
highway now.
32,
we'll change the
33.
name every time.
Yeah, I'm level 36.
Cool.
36. Oh, yeah, I'm about 5, probably 4 or 5 levels behind you then.
I got boosted a bit, starting her, jumping over to her being a bit higher than Calliope was, and then doing all the Old World Blues, Big MT stuff. Definitely got a few levels there,
Boobarella's
so.
on a dead hard drive
she's been
somewhere.
She's been adventuring a little bit. Like I did play with her the week before last, but I did not play with her this week because I need to get some of those Xbox achievements I didn't get before. So, plus, it's good to be powerful and not crash. Although I will say I have still locked up in the Great Divide. But was that it for your gameplay, Andrew?
Yeah, that was all for my gameplay. Let's roll into some game time. I don't know that I have the drops on it. Yes, I do.
What time is it? Game time!
Mohapalacha. Of course, you guys know I like to bring up the maps of the areas that we're playing in right now. We're over on the, like I mentioned, the enormous freeway, and we are going to play some Mohapalacha. So we're going to bounce back and forth here. I'll start over here with Jess. Jess, over there on the Lonesome Road.
Right.
Further north on this map. Now, I don't know if you walk into DLCs and then immediately pop open the maps and explore and see what you can see, but I think I went through the big MT without opening up my goddamn Pip-Boy to look at any location, So I tried to
That's
do it
funny.
earlier on in this one, but I feel like it would have been more helpful in the previous DLC had I known.
Yeah,
more about
because
the map.
we're working from a central hub and a lot of locations to navigate and get to.
Yes.
This one, like I mentioned before, is more linear. I mean, except that it's not,
This
we'll talk
one's
about that when we get there,
sideways
because
and
you
the
gotta
other one's
blow up your
citrus.
map.
And the map is really folded too.
Right. It's linear and you're kind of following a path, but you got to go nooks and crannies, blow things up, and then kind of follow the winding trail.
That's stupid. You have to do a loop to get up to the second. Oh, that took me fucking forever to find. Stupid Corvega door to me. Ugh.
But so where
All
are
right,
you map
Jess.
latching me?
Yeah, we're latching you. Further north on the Lonesome Road. The Boxwood Hotel roof or the Sunstone Tower roof? Which roof is further north?
Those are going to be very similar, and they're
They
on either
are
side of the divide.
Very
I'm going to go,
similar.
I think
Yeah, these
that
might
the
these might be on
Boxwood
the other
Hotel
side.
is actually a little further south, so I'm going to go Sunstone. Is the further north.
Oh, you were right with the.
I talked
other
myself
one.
out of
You
it?
Talked yourself out of it. A-okay. Hooray. Further south. The High Road entrance or the Junction 7 rest stop. Further south. High Road entrance or the Junction 7 rest stop.
What the? I don't even remember a high road entrance.
The high road entrance is where when you first exit the tunnelers and you start on the high road.
You have to get up into the
Yeah,
high road. Yeah.
where you're going on the highway bridge.
Yeah, so that's labeled as the entrance, and then
Okay.
the rest stop is, well, I shouldn't say,
She's
towards
she's
the
good.
end,
She's telling you the answer.
near Ulysses' fourth level.
So we're going. Which one's further south?
South, sir.
Well, I'll go with the rest stop.
The rest
'Cause
stop
that's
is indeed further south. Oh, tell me your reasoning. Yes.
well because that's you get to that, I think, before you get to the section that then leads you to the high road. So it's like on the zigzag.
It is.
It's at the bottom of the zigzag.
It's on the zigzag before the loop, before the dog leg on the backtrack.
After the squigs. Yep.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, so messy.
Jess, back to you. Further east, on the easterly direction here, the Cave of Abaddon or the Ashton Silo Control Station. Further east, the Cave of Abaddon or the Ashton Silo Control Station.
So the Ashton Silo Control Station is really far east. But I'm going to say the Cave of Abaddon.
You keep talking yourself out of it tonight. No.
Darn it.
The silo further east. Ray, closing it out here strong. Furthest west, Ulysses Temple or the Hopeville Missile Base Headquarters. Hopeville Missile Base Headquarters or the Ulysses Temple. Further west.
Well, it seems to me that the Ulysses Temple wasn't all the way over to the west side of the map, but Hopeville is where you first come out.
Right. Yep.
I'm going to go with Hopeville.
Hopeville is correct. Good job, Ray. Good reasoning. Yeah, they start you off
for
down
two,
in that
Ray.
corner, that bottom left-hand corner, and make you loop like all the way over to the right. And then you zig up a little bit and go all the way back over. And then you find like the home base headquarters place. And then you mess with the camp. And then there's like the silo. And it's like, oh. And I thought getting
the
out
other
of that...
weird...
Sorry, go ahead.
The other weird thing is that when you go into the Hopeville silo, you start off at one end of the map and
come out of the other end.
You go up. You don't go over. You don't take a trolley. You just go up the stairs. And when you come out, you're at the far opposite end of the map.
They didn't tell you there's a black hole or a wormhole there in that stairwell.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so weird. It screwed me up when I tried to go back to the entrance to drop off stuff in the duffel bag. So the first time I went there, I ended up walking back through Hopeville and coming out and then going back down to the entrance. And then I went to fast travel back to where I was and realized, oh, holy crap, I'm on the complete opposite side of the map.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of weird.
And I don't know why, but the map is such a vital part of the main game to me. No, like fast traveling and just knowing the different locations in relation to each other. I have no idea why, but that was not a thing in either of the DLCs. I was not constantly popping open my map to look at how to run over here or whatever. It just seems like it was less necessary. Maybe it's less sandboxy, both of them.
Because it is a smaller, tighter area, you are really following quests. Even though Old World, you are jumping around a bit, but they're close enough to each other that it's just like navigating downtown. Although we need the map in downtown Boston. What am I talking about? We need it there anywhere.
Yeah, give me the local map even. That's
smaller.
one of the few places I'll pop open the local map.
But they're nowhere near as large as, say, Far Harbor. I'm curious what they would be like in comparison, but I feel like it's like half the size of Far Harbor, maybe even less, quarter the size.
Yeah, Nuka World's not as big as Far Harbor, but it's like twice as dense,
Yeah, when you're in the places. And the spread out area around Nuka World is actually pretty large.
Oh, right, because there's like that space between the walls and the power station way out there.
And the dead town and the
junkyard, etc. Right.
But yeah, I've been opening the map a lot.
Really?
Which is why getting 0 for 2, I'm pretty ashamed of.
I always thought that'd be a great way to decorate the wall. When I was in college and a little bit after, when I got home from Germany, I would like put up like different maps of like Berlin or the subway station in Hamburg and stuff like that on my wall as just sort of pictures and decoration and stuff that look cool. But I think it'd be great just to put up like all my Skyrim and Fallout maps all over the walls. That'd be good. Just the Skyrim map would be a great repeating wallpaper pattern. Can we do that? Can we make some Skyrim wallpaper? People wallpaper still, right? That's something you don't ever see anyone do
Absolutely,
anymore.
they do.
Really?
No, people still
Do
well.
they?
I mean, they do different. Yeah, wallpaper happens.
I haven't
you
heard
know,
of wallpaper.
tile.
I've, like just taking it off. This is the only thing I've heard. It's like, is putting
less
on
common.
wallpaper still a skill people do? I had no idea.
People use contact paper and wallpaper on various projects.
Okay, guys. That was game time. We got an email, Jess, from let's talk about bombs.
Righto. Well, last week it came up in our discussion. We were talking about missiles, and then suddenly we're like, what's the difference between rockets and missiles? And then, partway through the discussion, I tossed in bombs. And I'm like, well, and like bombs, you like push them out of an airplane, right? But they're not guided. So we kind of got it worked out. But now from Vaughn H, we got an email in from Vaughn, and he wrote in with a little synopsis to kind of guide us through this. So
Guide
Vaughn
us. Let's
says,
see what she did
hey,
there.
fellow vault dwellers, EOD Mule here. I was listening to episode 551, New Vegas Feedback, and felt I could add something to your discussion about various ordnance. I was on an Army bomb squad for many years and can try to explain the differences between rockets, missiles, and bombs. Rockets and missiles both have a payload and a propelling section. The biggest difference is that missiles have a guidance section and rockets don't. Bombs typically don't have propelling section, although there are some that do, and are dropped, not launched like rockets and missiles. Oddly enough, some bombs have a guidance section, but most do not. I'm not sure if that clears anything up or makes it worse. Anyway, see you all in the wasteland. So that took us to what we were thinking. Rockets and missiles are similar. They both have payload and something propelling, but missiles are guided and rockets aren't. Okay, that makes sense. Although I gotta say, I feel like the rockets from the Red Glare and the Divide are really good at hitting me. So I feel like they're a little bit guided at least.
So those guys just lob those.
Right, pretty much. Just like in your general direction. And it's funny because sometimes I think it's going to be a rocket, and then half the time it's a flare from a flare gun. I'm like, that was nothing. Like a little fake out, because you got flares shooting at you too, which is really funny. And the idea that bombs are dropped, okay, that made sense. Not launched, but some bombs do have a guidance section. So I find that interesting. Like, even though they might not have a propellant, there must be a way that if there's a guidance section that they can somehow guide their path when they fall.
Well, they do.
Yeah,
have
a
tail
lot of times
fins a
bombs
lot,
have
so,
fins.
Yeah, they have fins on the back, so
That's really interesting. Okay. See, I did not know that. Definitely clear some stuff up. So
So,
thank you. EOD
How about
Mule.
the launching mechanisms now? Because, like, the Fat Man is sort of like slung, right? It's not like hit with a hammer, like a gun to a bullet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you would think that forcefully ejecting something like a nuclear weapon, or even a small, like mini nuke kind of thing, would not be the best way to do it. Yeah, it would have to be like firmly against whatever. Are we asking more questions? People writing more emails to tell us how it's actually done.
Yes,
Is that what we're
yes.
doing here, Andrew?
Tell us how the Fat Man works.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, if one of those that works on impact, like we were talking last week, how a nuclear weapon has to have a very specific trigger in order to make the mechanism ignite. But I assume that there's rockets and bombs that like are impact based, so like when they hit something they'll explode or whatever, right?
Some need detonated and some are impact based. Yeah, that would make
So
absolute
the
sense.
impact based ones, do they need to be flung instead of like, how are they
Well,
propelled?
You're not propelling it backward, so you're not hitting the nose of the bomb.
Yeah, you're
Right,
just
and
you're
you're-
the back.
flying.
Okay, and it ejects like the tip or whatever of.
And I
like,
would
it's
also think
in
it would
a
have to be like
shell.
firmly seated, Andrew. So if you think
Yeah.
about like if you have a bomb here and you whack it with a baseball bat, that's probably not a good idea. But if it's
Probably.
resting on the edge of the bat and the bat's thrown, like it's not actually making impact, it's simply adding forward
Mhm.
thrust. So not
Alright.
not a bat, but the hammer or whatever inside the mechanism, the slide, whatever's mounted on.
The rifling. I don't know.
Good word.
I think Dwight taught me that. I was like, I didn't know what an actual rifle was. It just means the twisting of the barrel, right? Isn't that what it means or something?
Yeah, rifling is
Yeah.
the grooves inside the barrel.
that make the bullet
is awesome.
spin. Yeah, makes it more accurate.
That makes
I guess.
perfect sense. And because rifles have the long barrels that are rifled, that's how they got the name.
There you go.
Well,
Let's get into some roundtable stuff. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
I don't have that drop on here. I gotta still make some switches from my sound system here. But let's get into some roundtable stuff. All right, Lonesome Road DLC. Let's get into that big Lonesome Road.
So this was the last DLC to be dropped, even though we're doing it second to last. And I believe a lot of people playing along with us have already started, and some of them have completed it at this point. We mostly have. So
Yeah, we've gotten
Lonesome
some feedback
Road.
already.
yeah, right, exactly. Someone sent in feedback already, getting ahead of the thing. So you're contacted by Ulysses. You have a note from Ulysses, essentially inviting you, with some coordinates, and suggesting you come see him to start. And the coordinates take you to the divide. And when you get there, it feels foreboding. And when you get there, it's got graffiti that you're going to see throughout the whole, you can go home courier and who is courier 6 and all that. So the kind of thing that if I remember correctly, you actually stumbled into this early on, Andrew, when you first started before you were ready to
Yeah,
go.
I stumbled in there. Because that loads automatically when you have all the, the
Yeah.
Game of the Year edition or whatever. And so
and it's right there by
it's
Prim.
right across the street from Prim. I was like, oh, what's that bus?
Yeah, it's not too hidden. It's not too hidden if you go out, further on beyond the drive-in theater and such there.
And
But essentially, Ulysses, encourages you to see him by promising some answers to some of the great questions. That he was the person who did not take the chip and had it go to you.
Mm-hmm.
And some answers as to why, and maybe learn a little bit more about yourself and all that. So, with foreboding, you step into the divide. I like that you get a big pop-up when you do that too. The whole warning thing that they do on the more difficult stuff, which we got for the Old World Blues, we got for this as well. Like they wanted to make sure people knew what they were getting into, as long as they stop and actually read instead of just clicking through. But yeah, so you want to be at least level 25 plus to do this. Recommended. Although there are challenges on YouTube and the people have done on Twitch, like can you get through Lonesome Road at level 1 or at level 2?
Oh, good Lord.
ridiculous stuff.
Yeah. But depending on the kind of character that I'm playing, I'll often come here, even before I go to Prem. Because if you are, if you're going to wear medium armor, you can go in here, go to the silo. Don't go into any of the fighting spaces inside the silo, but you can activate Eddie. It gives you, then he'll open up a commissary, but then also in some of the lockers, you can pick up a set of riot gear.
Oh, right. Because there is one set. So you can buy it, but of course that would take a lot of caps out of the commissary. I think you can buy riot gear, right? As well as U.S. Army combat. But there is a set that you can get out of a locker. Now, is it strongly locked? I know there's a set that is locked in the armory that we get to a little bit deeper in.
Yeah. I can't remember what level it's at, but I can usually get it pretty early on if that's the kind of character that I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
And also if you have Eddie already as a companion before you go there,
which I did, I had to dismiss Eddie outside.
Then he automatically gets upgraded when you access the iBot 2.0.
Really? That will upgrade Edie?
Yeah. So when you go back out, Edie will have, improvements based on what you do with the one there.
The improvements that you get, the 5 improvements and upgrades you can get throughout this, those transfer back to your Edie back in the Mojave as well, right?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
I thought so. So I thought before we like dove in, because I know normally for our talk throughs we go, a quest or two, but just like Old World Blues, this one is bigger. So I thought we could maybe talk a little bit about some of the characters or creatures and kind of stuff around it, some of the lore, since a lot of our feedbackers are going to be doing some of the more minute by minute stuff too. I wanted to bring up the whole marked men thing. Do you want to get into the lore of what caused the divide that we learned throughout the thing first, or do you want to talk about the marked men and the tunnelers? I thought they could be interesting.
Yeah, so that really is kind of so the first enemies that you run into are robots inside
Yes.
the silo.
A lot of sentry bots. They are dangerous at first.
But once you get out, the first enemies you meet as you are leaving the silo.
Yes,
once
right
you-
as.
Yeah, when you open the door to get out, there's a bunch of marked men that come in. You find their bodies.
While you're exploring the whole first area. You're right.
While you're going through that first silo. But some will storm in, and so they're a mix of essentially different ghouls.
Yeah, it's interesting to describe them. So I guess we kind of should hit the side a little bit. So you do. The first area you go into is after you get into the Great Divide and you follow the path, you go into the Hopewell missile silo, and you go through that, and that's where you find what you were talking about. You get your imitation Duraframe Eyebot, EDI 2.0, Eyebot 2.0, whatever you want to call them, that is essentially EDI, but fully functional, built from a scan and manufactured. And there's actually an active missile in here and stuff. So you go through, and you're fighting sentry bots, and you see a few things, learn a little bit about the base, and then you get out, and you run into these marked men. And so what they are remnants of people who were here when the accident that created the divide happened, that were here and stayed here. And they're kind of like ghouls, and they're kind of like different, because there were people from the Legion and the NCR who were both here for their reasons, which you learn about through the story. They were kind of trying to take control of the divide and the resources here and the knowledge, and they were fighting each other. But after the accident, everything that happened, fighting to survive, they essentially, fought each other, and eventually those allegiances were gone. And so you'll run into tribals there. You'll run into NCR, you'll run into Legion, some other groups, and they're not fighting each other anymore, except for, whatever territory they have. They have banded together. They're essentially just like extra strong, irradiated people who, and the way that's described, they said even as the radiation healed them like ghouls, the winds of the divide, flayed the skin from their flesh. And they talked about even some rituals around that. So they're very raw looking ghouls.
Yeah,
How about that?
very red.
It's funny. In some ways, they remind me more of the look of the ghoul from the TV show. A little bit, or like Red Skull.
They're
like the idea of
scorched,
just being
man.
like a very red, like skinless kind of ghoul.
They're scorched,
Interesting.
right? Come on.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, they're very similar. And then I also mentioned the tunnelers. So I guess maybe we should just talk through it like we normally
I
do.
like the tunnelers.
The tunnelers are cool,
I
but they
like
are
them.
way harder than I thought they would be.
They are reminiscent of a cross between those weird beasts from the pit and the what are those?
The trogs you're thinking of from the
The
pit.
trogs and what are those, like the spores? What are the ones with the spores?
Oh, the spore carriers from Vault
Spore
22?
carriers or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like a cross between those two. Or they also kind of have a twist of like the Mirelurk King a little bit.
And they look kind of like Merman from He-Man with the little fins
Oh, I
and the
love
little
Merman.
kind of beaky nose. Yeah, they
and
are
they
creepy little
smile.
creatures. They do, but it's not a good smile.
And
It's
they
a very
hunt in
bitey
fucking
smile.
packs. Ugh.
Yeah, so they are tough. Like at first, I'm like, oh, these aren't going to be too bad, but then you get, the hulky ones in there and the poisonous ones in there and all of that. I mean, there's a lot to it. So I thought they were interesting, but I don't know that we ever get a deep explanation for them. But we do, learn about the threat, and that these are not the only ones, and they're a growing threat beneath the desert of Appalachia. And Ulysses says that they are tunneling and digging and growing, and someday they're going to break out. And, most of the Mojave will not be a match for them. And after fighting them, I kind of see why. But those are two of the unique creatures that we fight. So I wanted to bring up both of those. I will say, so when we first started exploring the Hopewell area, and you get the various parts, Hopewell East, West, HQ, like all the little locations that are out there. And we saw the bombs that look like kind of little shuttlecock devices, like you were saying.
The warheads, yeah.
And
Shuttlecocks of doom.
Yeah, once I found out what I had to do with them, that the first big objective after you discover a few things is you have to get to a laser detonator. And it took me a little bit to figure out how to use it. But when you get the laser detonator, it's not like, you can't just trigger Archimedes and just like shoot it. You have to aim at it and like slowly kind of like heat it up with like energy. You see it sparking a little bit and then boom, it blows up. And don't be too close because you can kill yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Question of shame. Did any of you die from the first couple of bombs you blew or no?
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
First
of
one.
course.
Boom. Dead.
Okay, cool.
What are they doing with these warheads? They're trying to mine, blow up stuff to mine, or are these just misplaced warheads?
That's
What's
what
the
we're
story?
doing. That's what we're doing. So we're using a detonator to do that, to set up a bit of a maze. You know what I mean? Make a little puzzle, a little kind of Metroidvania challenge where you cannot get through this area until you blow something up, you get the thing that allows you to, and now you can pass into these areas. So that, it's part of that. As far as why the bombs were there, no, they're not doing anything with them.
Why are they there in the
as far
first
as we know.
place? They just sort of misplaced. This is where they laid. Like it's. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is so much ammo in the Divide. We're here, so we're starting here on the Hopewell military base, and this whole area was a military site, and a lot of what's in here, and that's why it was so valuable, and that's why all the missiles were here in the first place that were set off. But there's so much ammo. I mean, I feel my inner loot goblin. I am just picking up so much stuff, and I don't even use most of these weapons. Like,
Yeah.
I've got 3 or 4 really trusty weapons at this point. 5 because I'm trying to use the red, the red glare. Red glare. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of the first one that you run into.
Yeah,
Because when you come out of Hopeville area into the marked men camp, there's a dude up on the roof, shooting
you
you
with
with,
it.
a red glare.
Yeah, yep. I definitely felt that and took that out. And there are a lot of points we mentioned before. I don't know if we mentioned during the show yet, but when you do certain things and it spawns more enemies, that is very much a thing here. Where they're actually setting up the triggers. So you investigate something and more people come in. So you go up to that when you get near the roof there to get that. Boom, a bunch of, I almost said scorched, bunch of marked men come out down bottom to fight you. And I was over cucumbered at that point because that's the other thing. So I was saying there's so much ammo, but there's also so much loot. And at first I'm like, I'm beyond loot. I don't need stuff anymore. I don't need it. I only take what I need. It's dumb. I'm not a loot goblin. But then I'm still a loot goblin because the commissary, you can sell stuff, right? And you don't have to carry it all. You just get to the commissary and you can sell it and trade it for more ammo. Or the mods for the shoulder-mounted submachine gun, the SMGG, whatever it is there, and the red glare, they're wicked expensive, like 13,000, 15,000 caps. So you gotta buy them somehow.
And I'm not sure if it's because of the way my character is constructed, if I'm just like super weak to whatever kind of weapon that is, but like the arc welder would just kind of melt through me. If I like one of the, who was it? Was it the Markman? It must have been the Markman who were carrying it.
Yeah, there are a bunch of arc welders.
Shit. The arc welder's fun, and I would pick it up and try to do the same and it wouldn't do nearly as bad. Like, I don't know if my armor doesn't have any energy resistance, or did they do that in this game? Did they count like between ballistic and energy, or did they just do damage resistance?
No, there's different.
There is different. Okay.
There's different damage resistance, but there's also different skills with it too. Like different creatures have inherent resistance to different weapons and such. So yeah, maybe the marked men really spec'd into energy weapons.
It could be. But I just found the arc welders melted through me pretty quickly.
Yeah, they were dangerous. A lot of things are
And
dangerous.
that shoulder,
This is
that
harder
fucking shoulder
DLC
thing you
for sure.
mentioned was crazy too.
I didn't die much to the marked men. Like I said, I did first bomb I set off, I did die. But only the once, and then you learn to keep your distance. Like if you start feeling the rads, that's the best way to detect where the warheads are, is when you start clicking from rads. aside from in tunnels when it's actually barrels and not missiles usually, or not warheads usually. But if you're close enough to feel the rads, you're probably a little bit too close. So back your butt up and you'll be fine.
Okay.
And that's the funny thing about them. So when they're unexploded and you get close to them, you get radiation.
Oh, that
when you blow them
shouldn't
up
be.
and walk through the space where they were,
No more
no
radiation.
radiation.
It blew all the radiation away.
I kept expecting to get rads, but you're right, Ray. You didn't. I was worried about it. I'm like, oh, no, I'm fine. Yeah.
This was
Not even heard me.
I think this was one of the only times where I've actively had to use Radaway and Radex a few times. Like a
Decent amount.
It's always just sort of been able to deal with it otherwise, and sort of gain it as I go, and just sort of afterward, just sort of maybe heal up later, see a doctor, whatever. But here in
so
this
did
zone,
you find the 4 auto docks?
I did eventually.
definitely found
not
one.
4. I found. Yeah, I probably found the same one, Jesse.
Maybe I got 2.
I definitely
first
found
one,
one
though, was
and used
pretty
that, and I was like,
cool.
"Oh, thank fucking God!" Because my radiation level, it was 3 times. I think I had to knock it down because like it kept getting up above that like 70. I forget what threshold it is, 75% or something. It makes your, what does it do? Makes my AP lower. I don't even remember what the bad reaction is, but like,
you
it was
first level is endurance. You lose endurance first
Yeah.
level of rad poisoning.
It was bad enough where I actively noticed my gameplay getting like harder. So I was like, oh, okay, I knocked down the radiation. But like this was the only segment in all of New Vegas where I felt like I've had to like, actively prevent the radiation that's been.
There were a few
bombarded.
earlier on, but yeah, I am too. I'm taking Radex occasionally to get that resistance up, even though I have pretty strong rad resistance already. I think I've got perks and bonuses that way. But I got up as high as, I think the highest it was when I checked it was like 450 something. So, and I'm like, ooh, that's like halfway to dead.
That's,
So
yeah, that's
you don't
pretty
want
good.
that.
Ray, are you still in like the spacesuit or whatever? Does that have rad? That has rad protection, right?
It does, but I'm not. I'm in Joshua Graham's
Oh, Joshua
armor.
Graham's right. You moved to that. I forgot.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
I had that with
unfortunately,
me. I had that with me, and it broke immediately. All my armor.
the marked men scout armor, if you have jury rigging, will repair the Joshua Graham's armor.
And I have
That's good.
I have repair of 100. I just have not gotten jury. I see that and I'm like, I want that perk, but there's always something else. I've always picked something up, but I'm pretty much exhausted all that stuff. So I think I can take jury rigging pretty soon, which will be very helpful.
Yeah.
It definitely will. It makes such a big difference. But even then, things you think should repair each other don't. But enough do that it's good. I'm trying to keep the American General outfit separate because it's cool, it's special, it's a unique outfit.
Yeah.
And it always wants to match other things repairing. Like I do not want to repair stupid, marked scout armor with that, or whichever one's popping up for it. But this whole first area, it's funny you mentioned the trogs, because I definitely got that feel from the tunnelers when we get to them in the next area. But also, this whole first area of Hopeville, it feels very much like the pit. The walls, the buildings, climbing over things. I really got that feel a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then so once you get your laser detonator, you figure out how things work. You've gone through a bunch of different places. Also, getting the armory is cool. I really like finding the key for that. You find the different commissaries, places. I think Joshua Graham's first log, I think there was one in this area. Was the first one, was it in the Hope?
Oh, Ulysses logs.
Yeah, was it in the men's barracks?
I was going to say, Joshua Graham, what's he doing here?
Yeah, sorry. Ulysses' first log there's one in Hopeville. But anyway, you go through and you clear everything out. There's a few things. Oh, I know where it is. It's you get the warehouse stash key. And the warehouse stash key takes you in just a little nook in the front of the highest wall on the far side of Hopeville. So anyway, you get through everything. You detonate a few rockets, a few warheads, and you get into the tunnel. And that's when it gets spooky. So we're going through. And at first it doesn't seem that bad, but we're worried. And then you see a creature. I'm like, is that a death claw? No, it's a little bit fast. And so you try to follow it. And this is an actual program thing, which I didn't realize at first. And then you turn a corner and then, you're looking like, did I see something? And you see something around a corner. And I thought I was just catching creature walking. So I had switched to the red glare. I'm crouching. I'm getting ready to fight. And there's not a creature there. Like I thought I was following it, but it wasn't. It was like an illusion. It's just luring you in. And then you get to some dead NCR soldiers and some scouts who were there. And they're not mutated. So they, that they would have died earlier or they came in at some point after. And if you go through and you read the notes in the mission instruction, one of them, you learn about these flashbang grenades. And they mention that some underground cannibalistic humanoid dwellers.
They have chuds?
They have chuds, yeah. So you learn that these chuds are down here, and they've been recently discovered, but they seem to be, they're darkness loving, and these flashbang grenades should, terrify them, make them scatter away. So you guys should be fine. Don't even worry about it. Well, all these NCR troopers are dead. They're very dead. So maybe they should have worried a bit more. But you get stuff about flashbangs. You can find a few. And what the flashbangs actually do, they give a chance to frenzy. They give a chance to frenzy the chuds. I forgot they were actually called the tunnelers.
The chuds.
Well, that's what they are now,
Pretty much.
So, what we do.
The chuds of the big road.
So they have a chance to frenzy, and I guess if you frenzy like one of the hulking ones, it would actually be good. But so far they haven't worked for me. I'll be honest. These flashbangs aren't doing crap. They're working for me about as good as they did for the NCR.
I can't get that to work. Like I've tried to, sneak and throw one and get them, but they always just end up attacking us. Me and Eddie or whatever. I couldn't get them to attack each other.
Frenzy is a weird thing because frenzy, just like, shooting out a robot's control chip or something, it can attack indiscriminately, which means it can attack its buddies. But I feel like more than half the time I frenzy, they still just attack me.
Attack me,
whatever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything if there's only one of them, too. Luckily, the tunnelers usually attack in packs, like we said. Well, luckily. No, that's the worst.
Yay, they come in waves, guys. Good enough. Yay.
But at least if they do frenzy, they can attack each other. There's a chance of it that way.
Yeah,
But,
I just never got that to work. In Skyrim, I was like, if you can make a good mage character who can do that, that's a really fun build. You can just walk around and make people attack each other.
Yeah, they also, were keenly aware that if you're a sneak character, you would be able to go through this whole DLC and just pick everything off without any trouble. So they programmed in several places where it's just essentially traps, where there's a scripted event that puts you in immediate proximity of hostile characters. And so they did it with the tunnelers, they did it with the marked men, they did it with death claws, so that I never completely felt safe. So the other thing they do is they litter this place with satchels. So little like
Satchel
basically
bombs.
landmines.
Yeah, these satchel bombs. Mm-hmm.
I did not mess around with those. What did those do?
Well, they're just like mines.
You just drop them on the ground. I thought, for some reason, I thought it was like gonna be a backpack thing. Well, the word
just
satchel, but it just leave it like a regular mine.
Yeah, but I've got light step, so I don't set them off when I walk over them.
Nice.
So,
are you using them or just avoiding? I
just see them usually after when I'm standing on top of them.
Yeah,
oh, there's
when
the
they're blowing up in my face is right when I see those. Right.
Yeah. But for the most part, I had very little problem, especially when you've got Edie, they're, taking all the heat.
Edie can definitely distract them. Yeah.
But for the most part, I pick them off before Eddie even engages.
I can do okay if I get sneak criticals. Like overall, I made it through the tunnel fine. I did die once in the tunnel. So that was the second or third time I died in the DLC. Just the first couple waves, I did okay. But then you get them where you get one or two behind you, get one or two in front, and it's a lot, especially if there's a hulking one. And I still use mostly pistols. I did actually, before going in, I stocked up on all kinds of ammo, and I actually upgraded to getting the anti-material with all the mods for it too.
Mhm.
Now, that has been really useful, getting at a distance when you're fighting the marked men or the death claws we're going to get to in a little bit. But for the tunnelers, the anti-material, I can get 2 shots in VAS with my AP, so I really have to line up and get a good shot. Luckily, if I get a good one, it hits. But I've got enough stuff perked now, Ray, that I can get crits pretty easily,
Yeah.
I've got my beret. I've got a number of perks to help with that. The weapons I'm using have crit help. So if I'm sneaking and I'm okay. But I'll be out of AP after killing 2 of these creatures usually. Because the
Yeah.
hulking, because I'm pistols, even the tough pistols, I'm putting at least 4 to 6 in them for them to go down for the hulking.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got the little devil.
That's my main gun. Is Little Devil. Yeah,
from Mick and
12.7.
Ralph. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
and
I
I've
like
got
that
a
one.
silencer on that.
You found a silencer for it that fit?
Well, I had one because I had a 12.7 pistol that I was using as my silenced weapon,
Oh, I was
and
thinking
so
what
I
would go
had
on
the
there.
silencer for it.
Okay.
And so when I got the little devil, I just switched it out, and took the silencer off the one I
That's-
was using.
Awesome. My main weapon's going in. So I've got the Little Devil, but without any mods. I've got a hunting revolver, fully modded out. It does really well, and it has a scope. So that was my distance one. And then going in, I had the GRA, the grenade launcher with all the boosted stuff on it too, as like a fun backup. And so to that as a fourth. Well, and I had that gun.
when it's
I always
party
have that
time.
gun, which that gun is my backup now because obviously you can't do that much with it. It's a great gun. It's the 5.56. It's easy, but it's if I run out of ammo for other things, or need another weapon. And then I added the anti-material. So those were the real 3: the anti-material, the revolver, and Little Devil, because the grenade launcher is just for silly. Now the grenade launcher has been switched out for red glare. And that's actually pretty cool because you can get all the mods from which, by the way, there's an achievement for doing that. So I bought all the mods because I want to get the achievement for it, but it also makes it shoot faster, explode more. It's excellent. So yeah, that's pretty good if you can get a good bead on somebody. But if you don't get a bead on them, it's
You get a lot of rockets.
yes, you get so
Yeah.
many rockets, and they come in these little patriotic canisters.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was I never ended up using it. So and not only can Edie open up the commissaries for you,
Mhm.
but also you got to remember if you're getting all of your upgrades, he can also repair your weapon.
Yeah, so I talked to Edie a bunch of times, and there's a number of things you unlock. So first, we talked about repairing the weapon, and happy beeping for that. But there's a lot of conversation back and forth with Edie. And if you go back and talk to Edie multiple times throughout this, you'll be like, explosive 30, hey, can you do this too? Repair 65, hey, maybe if you do this and change this modulation, you can do that. And so you can improve all of Edie's skills on being able to repair and be able to make ammo. And you're making like the weapons bench, hit the portable ammo bench better and the crafting bench and all the things that Edie's skills are better. So yeah, that's definitely cool.
Yeah.
But I think
but
that
also, so like when you're in the marked man camp and that guy's up on the roof, you get 2 red glares.
yes. And you can use one to repair the other, maybe? Is what you're thinking?
No,
No?
use Eddie to repair it. So that it
Wait, is
sells
Eddie
for
repair
more.
free?
Yes.
I'm such a Dumbo. I did not realize that. So I knew I unlocked all that, but I hadn't had Eddie repair anything yet because I thought I'd have to pay just like a
No.
repair bench.
Every 13 hours, he'll repair your equipped weapon for free.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so that is good advice for everybody there. No, I have not yet had Edie repair, nor have I used the commissary repair. I've just with my jury making.
Don't
I've
don't
been
use
getting
the
stuff enough
commissary. The
to-
commissary you'll have to pay for.
Pricey.
But
Yeah.
Eddie, you don't. And so, when he repairs up, this weapon that you're about to sell, it can dramatically increase the value of it.
Right. That's smart.
Because it's in full repair.
You said mounted weapon. How about my armor that I busted?
No,
Damn it.
you'll have to use jury rigging for that.
Yeah.
Sons of
But you find
There's a
lots of
ton of
armor to
armor.
repair. There's so
Yeah.
much armor.
And there's all different classes because there's, the marked men armor.
It's good
Will repair
stuff.
Josh. I
in all
brought in
three.
Joshua Grams, but I changed into something else because I changed into that riot armor because
Oh, that's the
it looked
best.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're going to
then
find the
there's
advanced
combat.
right armor later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the combat.
Well, and elite too.
Yep.
But you've got combat armor there too, which you can use to repair stuff. Other medium armors.
So we're about to exit the tunnelers in our discussion and get to the entrance of the high road, which, as we know, is not as far west as something else, according to Matt Plateau. But I thought this would be a fun time to kind of jump over something too. So one thing we hadn't mentioned yet, after the invitation from Ulysses, we have talked to Ulysses multiple times throughout this. So he talks to us through a speaker, and he talks to us through Edie, and he kind of takes control. And we're getting stories little by little about Ulysses' story and his thoughts on us, and kind of what his plans for us, and how he had hoped giving us the platinum chip would be a weight that would kill us and have the Mojave get rid of us because of what we did to the Divide, which of course we don't know about, but we're learning that part of our story here. But
Yeah.
throughout this, you can also find audio logs from Ulysses learning about his story and his history. He goes on at length. So I joked last week about how much he talks, and it's like 50% of the DLC. And now that a lot of our listeners have been playing through themselves, they know, that he talks a lot.
He does a lot.
If you
And
listen
very
to everything.
slowly.
Mm-hmm. And deliberately. I mean, great delivery, great stuff. Some of it I love, some of it, not as much, but it's hilarious. And so Random made a little graffiti. So you know how there's graffiti all over, and there's actually more graffiti over this area than a lot of others. You get all kinds of little phrases and things, but he put a STFU Ulysses on the wall. Straight on. Because shut up. But I mentioned that because I also wanted to get to this. So Jesse, Jolts in our Discord, he joined Discord a few months ago, and he wanted to kind of talk about it a bit too, because as much as we make fun of how much Ulysses talks, he is an interesting character, and his story is one of the kind of cooler stories in New Vegas. It's pretty deep in the way he's woven in various things throughout the DLC and stuff. But let me just read really quick what Jesse wrote, because I thought it was interesting. So he says, "I know Ulysses has become kind of a meme for many, but he's still one of the most interesting characters in Fallout franchise. The bear bull memes are funny, no question. All of his quirks, though, from his distinctive speech to his fixation on symbols, are rooted in his past. His tribe, the Twisted Hairs, communicated through visual symbolism. Every knot and braid carried meaning, conveying history, identity, or status. The dude was raised to search for significance in even the smallest details and to treat that meaning as deeply important. That's why imagery, like bears and bulls, resonates more with him than names. It's almost as if to him, symbols carry the same weight that spoken identity does to others, like how appearance might matter more than names to someone who cannot hear. And his personal arc, from tribal youth to legionary, ultimately becoming part of the force that destroyed his own people, and then going on to inflict even greater devastation on older cultures like the New Canaanites, is especially compelling. And then he goes on to say, much like Kreia in Knights of the Old Republic 2, kind of an ideological mouthpiece of sorts for Avalon, the writer, Chris Avalon. And that can be kind of hard to overlook, but it's compelling nonetheless. And so, absolutely. I totally agree with that, Jesse. Like, we make fun, and I don't necessarily agree with some of the philosophy he's espousing, but as a character, the idea of, that it's rooted in imagery and his upbringing, the story of the Twisted Hairs, which, as you may know if you have listened to some of the dialogue and the audio logs, are one of the earlier tribes that Caesar not necessarily conquered. So that was an interesting thing. They're one that instead of being conquered or joining, like most, they held him off and at a distance and had a bit of a truce where they acted as scouts. And Ulysses was one of Caesar's best scouts throughout this. And after they conquered all of Arizona, in the town where they're from, Ray, do you remember off the top of your head what the name of the town is that he was from, the Twisted Hairs?
No.
It's where we're going to go later. I think it starts with a C. Sorry, hold on. I am thinking. Anyway, after they kind of conquered Arizona, the Legion ended up destroying his town anyway. Like, despite their kind of truce understanding they had that they weren't assimilated, but they were working with him as scouts, ended up destroying it. Dry wells. That was it. Dry wells. So they were destroyed anyway. But despite that, Ulysses kept working for him. At this point, his name wasn't Ulysses. He didn't take the name until later, but we don't know what his original name was as far as I know. So he continued to work, and he became part of the Frumentari, under Vulpes and Culta, which is interesting because Vulpes and Culta, and as part of the Frumentari, are the people who destroyed dry wells or pacified it, and took the slaves and everybody in and such. So after his tribe was lost, that's when he took on the name Ulysses, which is not after Ulysses from Greek legend, but after Ulysses as Grant. And the way that Ulysses put it was, he was a man who fought during a time of two flags and had to make them one, which is kind of what he's doing here, between the bull and the bear and those flags. But in this case, he wants to divest the people of the Mojave from that, because neither one is a true path. They are bringing in the old world, and the old world should not be brought in. He wants to make a new world. Anyway, that's the whole Ulysses thing. And I just thought it was kind of neat to dive into his story a little bit and how it weaves through everything. Because you learned that he was at Wolfhorn Farm and lived there for a while because after he worked with Caesar, he went back to him. Let me just continue the story for a minute longer. So he continues to work for Caesar despite the fact that his people have been destroyed, out of loyalty, and that this is what he knows now. And he ends up being the one who goes up to the Whitelegs up outside of Zion, and he encourages them to fight for Caesar. And if they want to be assimilated, they should take up, the guns. And he encourages salt upon wounds and leads them to the sacking of New Canaan, which, as a means of stopping arms from getting into the NCR, and supplies, stuff like that, because there were three main paths into the Mojave for the NCR: the Long 15 and the Divide, and then up north through the trade routes up through there, and including, New Canaan coming down. And so they did that to, get revenge on Joshua Graham and for Caesar, but he's the person who encouraged the Whitelegs to go that path, to the point where they actually started emulating him, and he became kind of a bit of a hero to them. He hit a point working with them where their idolization of him, he suddenly found himself seeing what he had done with these people and the destruction they had done, and felt guilt after continuing to work with them after what they had done to his people. That the way almost that these people were looking up to him and emulating him and braiding their hair, twisting their hair as, part of his culture. It felt like a mockery of these people doing that, as opposed to what should have been. And I'm doing the same to them and these other tribes. So that's when he left. And he was living in the Mojave for a bit, working as a courier and such. And then he goes on, as we know, to the Old World Blues. And that's where he meets Christine and he meets Father Elijah. And he actually got the recording device from Christine in his cave. That time we get List Cave and Old World Blues. When he was there, he helped nurse Christine back to health after she was taken and seized and had the operation. And she gave him the recorder that he used to record these memos and stuff. So there's a connection there. And he also is the one who set, if I recall, Father Elijah, when they met in there as well, off towards the Sierra Madre, where we're going to meet him and that whole thing. So Ulysses set all these things in motion. And there's a bit more to his story that you get from various logs. But ultimately, when he is working as a courier, going back and trying to, make his peace and work on becoming a person in history that, can make changes, he is doing the courier work, and that's when he sees your name, and he sets things into motion and takes that as a sign that this is now the time to reclaim the divide. Because the one thing I didn't mention in all this is that the first place he went to after leaving the Whitelegs was, for a while, living in the divide and working with people there before the town of Divide on the far side, which we never really get to. The town of Divide, I think, is just past the far side of where we go. That he was one of the few survivors when the town was destroyed because of actions taken by the courier. And that's kind of the big secret, that the courier, we don't have our memory, and we didn't even necessarily do it willingly. Once again, we were an unwitting courier, but we brought the item that, first, in some ways, we brought the NCR. By being a courier goes back and forth, that the NCR eventually saw value in the trade route and then discovered the area. But then second, we brought the item here that caused the destruction. So there we go. That's Ulysses' story. I just wanted to go through it.
And one interesting thing that you get when you're going through the dialogue when he's talking through Eddie is, he's, you mentioned that you found tapes and he says, that they're meaningless. It was just a meaningless exercise.
Right.
And you can push back and say that well, I don't know that I believe that, because you wouldn't have done it if it hadn't meant something to you.
Exactly. And he's actually disconcerted by that a little bit.
Yeah.
When you have that to him, and he's like, well, think what you will, but you can use them if you find them all to make some changes later. So we emerge from the tunnelers onto the high road, and the high road is a series of overpasses and just high raised highways. And immediately we are attacked by a couple of marked men. Now, we saw named marked men earlier. We had Blister that had a special helmet that we got from him. And this was actually talking to Ulysses. They mentioned how some of them are, ex-Legion that wear helmets to emulate their master, like Lanius and that kind of helmet. Well, out here on the high road, you've run into another one named Beast, if I remember correctly. Was this one? The first one was Blister, I think. And get another unique helmet from him. And each of these helmets are unique, and they have their own abilities, and they look kind of like the helmet that Lanius has. Some of them have faces, some of them don't, as far as the way they're set up. But yeah, so you fight marked men. You find another commissary out here that is very hidden. By the way, did you see the commissary? Like, it's like Edie has opened a commissary. I'm like, where is it? I walked around that
one
truck
on the back side
2-3 times before I looked up. Yeah, I was trying to find it. It was up top. But
yeah, and it's kind of funny. One thing about being a sneaky sniper character is you oftentimes don't know who you're killing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because if you're firing from far enough away, the UI of the game doesn't, give you the the handy little marker with the character's name over it. They're just this little blob that's running around, just inside the render distance. And so I never fought any of those the essentially mini bosses.
Oh, because you took them up from a distance
individually, because I took them from so far away. I didn't know who I was shooting.
This one on the open road, on the high road, you're pretty close when you come out. Like, they are almost on you. But I did get him with the anti-material too. He was one of the easier ones because I had time. I saw him and targeted him first.
Yeah. And the nice thing about spaces like this, I don't have to worry. There are no good guys. There isn't anybody that you shouldn't kill in this area. So you just shoot anything that moves.
Yeah, it's true. I feel good about that too. Like, sometimes I worry about things, but I first of all, they were getting me enough, and I did not feel bad about shooting everything because it did seem like they were all against us. Also, chat talking about Ulysses and voice actor. So the voice actor who played Ulysses is Roger Cross, which some of you may know that name, some of you may not, but he is a pretty awesome actor, and he has been in everything from Arrow to Continuum to Dark Matter to some bigger shows like 24 as well, but I'm naming my sci-fi ones I loved. He was great. He was great in Continuum. He was great in Dark Matter. He's a really good actor. But the Ulysses delivery is a bit slow and deliberate. And I think they wanted to be thoughtful, but I do think if he was a little more animated, it might have been engaging.
Yeah.
So, the high road. After you get through a few marked men, you start coming against death claws. And the first one or two aren't bad, but there's an ambush. I just need to shout this out again because next place I died. I died a bit. I also froze twice before, I mentioned too. So I learned to save often, save early, because I froze twice in this DLC. And I'd be in a locker and leave a locker to look at something, and boom, screen would freeze, and I had to quit out and restart the Xbox and go 10 minutes back or so. But it's not too bad, but it happens sometimes. So there is a bus along the overpass where, once again, as soon as you pick up the item or you look at the item and you loot the thing, Deathclaw jumps off the roof down on your head. Did you guys rid of that Deathclaw?
Yeah, he fortunately Eddie was just inside the door.
Oh, so they blocked for you?
But also, that's the first thing the Deathclaw sees and starts, wailing on him. And so even though I couldn't get any sneak attacks in, I was able to hit him enough, and then Eddie went down, and, before he could get close to me, he was out.
Yep.
So
Yep. Edie is unconscious. Happens all the
worked out.
time. So the way that I discovered it was a little bit circuitous because I was being all smart. So if I went ahead and after I take out the Markman, I saw the close up ahead. So I actually snuck past him, go in the bus, and I went past and up over the rise. And I set off that warhead and I killed like 3 Deathclaws up there. And I was like, yeah, I'm a boss. Oh, I should go back and check this bus because blah, 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 audio log, blah, blah, blah. And I went in there, Deathclaw dropped in my head. I died. And so I had to reload and do all that because I hadn't saved. So this time I went to the bus first. And yeah, Edie blocking or Edie distracting at least is kind of what helped me there.
Yeah.
Because the Deathclaws aren't bad until they're on you. And they do a lot of damage. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I can take them out with the anti-material from a distance at too much trouble. I one-shotted a Deathclaw a few times with the anti-material and a headshot and a critical, sneak critical. But usually I can do it in 2 hits, but I need all my AP for that. But when they're up on you close, they get 2 or 3 hits in and you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Without the sneak attack multiplier,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole nother game.
Exactly. In your face for real. Oh, so sorry, Andrew. We're talking.
But you do have
talking a
auto
lot.
stim
you're
packs.
okay.
I'm loving those. I never use them normally, but every time I have like a couple of sensor modules and stim packs, I'm making them at crafting benches now because they're saving my butt.
But you get a crap ton of them here.
Yeah, I found.
I mean, absolute crap ton.
Yeah, I've found maybe 7 or 8. I guess I haven't found a crap ton.
Oh,
But-
yeah. No,
I'll find more as I go.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I found like 12, maybe more than that, but I've made a bunch too because I
Okay.
used enough that it made me get into like, oh, I should make these, which is something I never really did before. But so going through and a lot of Deathclaws, a lot of traveling, and we make it towards the end of the road area, and this is where you can find the 4th Ulysses log. The 3rd one, so we got 2 so far. There's a 3rd one up on you where you kill some of the marked men. You kind of got to climb up a little girder divider thing up top to get it, and then
Oh, yeah.
there's-
A little ridge with a cave.
yeah, exactly. And then after this bridge, there's a little campsite and a cave is where the 4th one is you get to. And so you get up there, and then if you go down to the right, that's where you get to rest stop. Is it rest stop 7 or rest stop X? Whatever one you asked about there. And
Yeah, 7.
yeah. And so down there, you can find a few things. Oh, also a good reason to use the warhead and blow them up is because sometimes you need them to get to the Ralphie posters, which you're trying to blow up all the warheads. You're trying to see all the Ralphie posters for Edie. Well, I am at least.
Yeah,
You're
there
trying
was
to
no way I was
get on
going to do
the
that one.
There's only 20 Ralphie posters. I think I've found 12 so far. But yeah, you go down there, you can find a few unique items. You get ambushed by tunnelers. Again, there are tunnelers down there and there are Deathclaws. Again, you go in this building at the bottom of the rest stop and you go around and find things and suddenly some Deathclaws start coming down the hill at you. Like, the game is sneaky. And you move past there, you get to the next area towards the Ashton missile silo you're heading towards. Is it Ashton? I think so.
Yeah.
And there's a little crow's nest there. You get another log. And you fight off a few more marked men, and you can blow up a warhead, and you find a little cave area that has some cool lead-lined ammo things in there, and you get some stuff out of that. And there's a building there. So I got a little bit stuck here, a little bit off track, trying to figure out where I was supposed to go. I thought I went into the building at the end, at the far end there, and it looks... One thing I've noticed is that they really repurpose a lot of the downtown. So we don't see a lot of the downtown Fallout 3 style rubble and buildings in the main Mojave. You know, a little bit, but not as much. But here, I'm like, I have definitely seen this crumbling building outside of GNR. You know, like a few of these are very, very clearly like reproduced.
Yeah. Repurposed assets.
Exactly. But from there, you follow things, you scale the ledge a little bit, you find your way over to this Ashton missile launch site, or Ashton launch silo, it's called. And this is where Edie can repair it. And you, like the blundering, foolish courier you are, you, you push the lever. You push the button. You pull the lever.
Wait. Before you go into this place too, there's a box
Oh,
with the power
Industrial
fist with the the saw blade on it. That's pretty tight. I'm
This
not
is one-
doing unarmed, but
Andrew, you probably missed this one.
What's
It's
that?
the industrial hand. It's called industrial hand power fist.
Ooh,
It's got a cool ass saw blade on it.
No, I did
Yeah.
not pick that up. Where
does
is that
extra
acquired?
crit damage. And also you can
Ooh, I like extra crit damage.
you hold down the attack button and the saw continues to buzz.
Ooh, so it's like a continuous thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's like, oh my god, I just suddenly forgot what
Almost
the
like a
saw
ripper.
the
blades are called.
ripper, yeah, or
Like
the
you got the rippers.
the horizontal saw thing from the pit, right? What was
Yes, people fit me out. What are my saw blades called? I just forgot. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it is. It's kind of like that, but horizontal. But the funny thing is, you can overlook it so easy, Ray, because
Oh,
you open
yeah.
it. It's in a little like toolbox or metal
Well,
box,
it's just one of those little metal boxes.
and it just says industrial hand. I'm like, industrial hand? What's that? Oh, it's like a little claw machine hand. Blah blah blah. And then you actually look at it, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So when you flip the switch, it's like you're back in Fallout 76. You get the rant, and you get the missile silo hatch. You suddenly see this, hatch, and it flips open, and a rocket comes out, and it launches deep into the air, and you see it flying up and out, and you're locked in the scene. It's making you watch this. And then you get a big nuclear explosion detonation. It's in the air, but it's supposed to be further down the divide. So I don't know if you don't see it hit the ground. It looks like it's in the air, but it does
it's an
affect
airburst.
the far side. It's an airburst over the far side of the divide. And then, of course, Ulysses talks to you a bit about, what you just did, and that you finish the quest for that, and I believe you get a little achievement like doomed to repeat or something like that, where essentially history repeats itself. And Ulysses says, if you want to come find me, you have to continue on through, and so you have to open up the door to the elevator, the Ashton Silo elevator there. Oh, Stolior got a good picture of the missile launching. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I recorded this. I actually recorded a couple hours of my time in the Divide just to have as like B-roll footage if I ever need it for something, because it's fun. I'm enjoying this, even though it's tough. We enjoy tough, right?
Oh yeah.
We enjoy survival and occasionally, having to fight our way through and actually kind of think about the weapons we're using and all that.
Yeah, and
So-
then when you come out of this, now things get really squirrely. I got lost so many times.
We're getting
from here to the temple.
Yeah, so we're getting close to caught up to where I am, because confession here, the guys know, but I have not finished. Here I am, the one saying, "Oh, yeah,
You
you got
can get
plenty
it
of
done,
time,
no
Andrew. A
problem."
week is no problem. You can do it. Oh, you guys got 2 weeks, no problem."
Man up, Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you girls put like 6 hours into it so far, and I'm not quite done. I have made it through the next area, but I am right near the Sunstone Tower area. I have just done the Ashton
Well,
Silo and the Descent and all
if
that.
you're doing those damn Ralphie posters, you're going to need another couple of weeks. Because
I'm gonna get 'em.
those things are hidden all over the place.
Well, the problem is they blend, right? Because you're so
Yeah.
used to seeing posters, and I look at them when I can, but they blend. They blend.
Yeah.
But Edie likes Ralphie, so I got to photo
Oh,
him
yeah.
for him.
Yeah, because that eventually comes up in eating conversations.
But so yeah, it gets squirrely. So you go into the silo here, and Andrew, I didn't know if you had anything to add on this. We haven't let you talk the last little bit since the tunnelers and the death claws and all that. Anything to add?
The death claws are fucking vicious. And yeah,
They
you
are.
mentioned they jump out in your face. There's the one behind a bus that kept fucking getting me around the curve. And there were two. So when you turn around the one bus, the other death claw would come around the other corner, and would both of them. I can handle one death claw, but two death claws from both directions is tough. So they pinned me down a couple of times. It took me a while to figure out that sort of. There's a weird hairpin turn in the pathing, and with the bus, and then the death claw, two of them right behind it, off to the right side in the bend. So I struggle
They're
with that area a
dangerous.
little bit. I had Eddie with me. That's all I had. I always have a Veronica with me, but she's not allowed in there. She wasn't allowed there. So yeah,
Well, and at this point,
Eddie doesn't. He leaves at some point and comes back.
Yeah, I think it's
twice or just once.
Just once. I think this is this missile silo is the one where when you come out, you've lost him.
Yep. So right now, first you have to get through it. So I do want to point out what happens here. So you get in there, and there are some tunnelers, and it's dangerous, and there's a feeling of fear the second you enter this elevator. I don't know about you. But
This is the one where it's the slanted elevator. You go down, and while you're going, all these tunnelers are hopping on.
Yep. Once you walk in, it is the Tower of Terror at Disneyland, except even more violent, even more scary. Because you get in there and you're jumping in and it's falling and there are explosions and everything's shaking. Like, because you just set off a nuclear weapon, everything's shaking. Like, before you go in and when you get in, like, and there are periodic rumbles and things are busting up. And then you get on this elevator and it's like, whee! But it's not we, because the whole way down you've got to, like, the pop-up says, survive the descent.
Oh no!
And there was it was danger. I did survive. I did not die on the elevator, but it felt frenetic for sure. And then you get to the bottom, and you get into the Ashton missile silo, and you got to work your way through.
Yeah, and if you really have too much trouble, you've already picked up several stealth boys.
Yes, you got a bunch of stealth boys. Oh my goodness, they're like candy.
So you can, and if you notice, the marked men love stealth boys. I had so many of them, running around invisible.
Yeah, they do. That was annoying.
But so if you get in the corner of the elevator, and pop a stealth boy, they'll be 100% focused on Eddie, and you can just
that would have been smart.
Pick them off.
But yeah, and I don't have a whole lot to say about this missile silo except that you can get your third destroyed iBot 80 upgrade here, and get another upgrade. You can get a circuit board. There's another auto dock in here to heal. You can find commissaries and more sentry bots. There are some skill magazines along the way too. I think I found a special ops one here. I found a good guns and
picked up one that does +5 crit damage.
Excellent. Yeah, is that the Chinese Army special ops one? Does that do crit damage? Because I know there's a special.
No, this one was different. I don't remember. I've gotten rid of when you get so many of your skills to 100,
right?
You don't need magazines anymore.
Yeah, at this point on Jess, I've got more than half of them, up to 100. We're getting pretty high, but you get more riot gear here too if you want. Also, I know it's throughout the whole game, but I really I was laughing here because at one point I picked a safe, and I mean, we always do. This is perfectly normal, but usually I use the computers and hack them, but it's the keypad. Every safe is a keypad. You click on the keypad and you get the little key with the lock and lockpick. And it's like, it's been like this forever, but for some reason it really struck me as funny this week. Oh, goodness. But they're talking in chat about how far they are. So a couple people have finished it. A couple people haven't, but they're near the end. And so once you emerge from here, you get your next talk with Ulysses and a whole nother back and forth. And he tells you about how, what you caused and how, you caused the divide to burn into the earth because what you delivered set off the missiles here locally. And, a lot of them, when they came back online, some of them self-destructed, or many of them destructed enough to kind of cause all this damage and et cetera. And you can say that you had nothing to do with it, but Ulysses, argues with you and puts all the evidence where you get more of your story and your part in this and how that all worked, and that we turned it into the irradiated hellscape it is today. As far as how Ulysses survived, he was seriously wounded, but it was actually an iBot that saved him, a medical iBot that brought him back to life, and that was the iBot he was traveling with for a while before, because this happened before the events of the game by at least a year, I would think, if not a little bit longer. But this is kind of where I have to wrap up, because again, I haven't made it to Suntop, and then over to what is the next area we're heading to? The Couriers.
The Couriers Mile.
Yeah, Couriers Mile, that's where we are now. We're in the Courier's Mile, and so it's Cave of the Abaddon and the Sunstone Tower roof, and then from here we're gonna have to go over to Ulysses Temple and the Boxwood Hotel. So that's the next area. We've got to get into the cave and over the Boxwood Hotel and out to the temple. So that's the last leg of the primary journey, and that's all I have left to do. So depending upon where you're at, if you haven't done that yet, then you've only got that much. And if you have done it, then all you've got left is the temple, some exploration after the Boxwood Hotel, and then possibly, depending what you do with the big decision, a couple of places outside in the Mojave to deal with and follow up to get, loot.
Yeah, and they I think this is the point where he says that you've delivered to him the thing that he needs to exact his retribution. And that's when he takes control of Eddie and takes him away from you.
Yeah.
And recalls him.
Because Eddie can crack these codes and do all that, which will allow him to set off the missiles he wants to. Now, do you want to talk about the rest of the end of the story now, or do we want to save that and talk about it when we do feedback next week? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we can wait. There's, most of it is now just, getting to the temple. There's a lot of, there's the cave with Rar.
Yeah.
And, that's another one of those where they, I didn't realize where I was when I walked in, and then all of a sudden I hear rumbling behind me, and I'm face to face with with this Deathclaw. Once I realized, and recovered from being killed, I knew to walk in just far enough to get the wall to crumble and stay hidden and, not move forward until, he had a chance to reset. And so then he was stuck and I was,
nice.
sniping him.
If I ever have a pet Deathclaw, I might name him Rar. It's a good name for Deathclaw.
That's a good name for a Deathclaw.
Time for dinner, Rar. But yeah, so we've got to wind through all that and then get to the temple and that whole Ulysses discussion.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of places to get to. There's more tapes to pick up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got 2 more tapes. We've got more posters. We've got a number more warheads still.
Yeah. I came up 4 short on warheads.
Yeah.
I
definitely missed a bunch.
But I did get the elite riot armor, even though I'm not going to wear it.
Nice, though. Yeah, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about some of the unique weapons and such that you can get here in Lonesome Road, because there are a bunch of them. So we talked about Rar's fist already. They're not technically unique because there are multiple of them, but like things like the Blade of the West and some of the armor they use here, that's different.
Yeah.
But what other ones did you want to shout out?
I think we've hit most of them. There's a lot of anti-material rifles here.
Yep.
And some sniper rifles. But certainly red glare. You run across a few of those. The shoulder-mounted machine guns.
Those were tough to deal with, coming at you at least.
Yeah. The arc welders, Gatling lasers, plasma casters.
Check, ding, ding.
Oh, we also talked about the Fist of Rar, but I should say, if you got Wild Wasteland, it's not the Fist of Rar. It's the Fist of the North Rar.
What?
So if you have Wild Wasteland perk active, it's the Fist of the North Rar, which is a reference to Fist of the North Star, classic
Fist of the
Japanese
North
movie.
Star. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
it's one of those funny pop culture references they throw in if you have
Fist
Wild
of
Wasteland.
the North Rar, and that's the only change. It doesn't do anything different. It's just they alter
it's exactly the same.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's the way Wild Wasteland is. It's just quirky.
Yeah, but the industrial hand as well. We mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. We already got the Starry Night Fist before in Old World. We got Dr. Klein's gloves already. Yeah, there's not as we talked about how in Old World there's so much unique loot. They overwhelmed us with it. Here there is definitely unique items or different items, but it's not quite as overwhelming with new stuff as Old World Blues was.
Yeah. Well, and you got to kind of figure. So this, this DLC was really kind of made to be after you finish the battle at Hoover Dam.
I was gonna ask about that, but then we decided not to go through the end conversation. But I was like, I kind of got the feeling that I was supposed to have already done a few things before.
You guys, absolutely. If you want to talk about some of the end, you can. We'll get into it more next week when we're listening to feedback. But absolutely, since I haven't seen it, I'm not fresh on it right now.
We'll get into it more a little bit. I continued my stellar reputation, shall we say, with all of the Wasteland factions.
Oh goodness! So you're friendly with everybody. Absolutely, they love you.
Yes.
You and Ulysses are not walking hand in hand into the sunset.
No, and neither is anyone back home either.
Oh my! Oh my!
You did the double.
Heck with
If I
them
had,
all.
if
They
I
all
had
hate
an
me.
evil mustache with some wax at the tip, I would be twisting it right now.
mean, You took out your only friends. So this is neat because when we will talk about it next week, but when you do go back to the Mojave, because I don't know if you actually did that, this opens up areas where, these detonations hit. And Ulysses is actually trying to take out places related to his, past life and his childhood. So the places you took out were like his home area and part of the Long 15.
Yeah, I haven't been yet, but I got a warning that popped up that said like these areas will now be irradiated with different, I don't know, what did it say, different monsters or something. So I definitely need to go check it out. It would be any Legion outpost, and they gave like new location names to the place too. It's like the Legion because they're both holes in the ground now.
Yeah, they're both sections that we hadn't previously been to. So one of them is, when you're at the NCR outpost.
Yeah.
And there's that chain link fence.
They wouldn't let me in there.
Yeah, it will now.
It will now. That's the entrance to the Long 15. And the other one was Dry Wells, it was called. I keep forgetting the name.
Yeah.
Dry Wells, where hit the area that was run by the Twisted Hares, Ulysses' tribe, that were then, destroyed. So the Legion outpost is taken care of. We're the one station there to wipe up that
so
part
you go to Cottonwood Cove, and there's a little boat that you can take to
go up the river now.
Go there. Yeah.
Takes you down to Arizona. Yeah, because it's not too far, but it's deeper in Legion territory. So I think it's really neat, and it's an interesting ending that we can hear about people getting to, and we'll get to ourselves next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the only other weapon that came with this DLC was the H&H tool nail gun.
Oh, how the fuck is a nail gun silent? Have you ever heard roofers? Did you? I saw that one of the powers was a silence, and I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, you're only hearing the nail driving into the wood. So if you just shoot it in the air, there's really no sound at all.
I mean, and are they carrying the compressed air tank like on their back, like a scuba? Like how are we hearing the? Like I just don't understand it. I need to pull it out and actually use it.
It's just one of those things.
Is it
I'm just really
reminiscent?
excited it's in there after it was brought up in the TV show.
Reminiscent of the railway rifle at all?
No, the railway rifle is, that's a big gun.
And it actually shoots real,
railway spikes.
Spikes, yeah. But the nail gun, yeah, okay. So a lot less significant of a projectile.
Yeah, but it is cool. And the fact that it, again, was brought up in the TV show, I was so excited to see it. I immediately started taking some pictures of it and such because it's just awesome.
Yeah. And, for those crazy survivalists out there, there's a bedroll that you can pick up. Actually, a couple of them.
Oh, I found one of those.
Yeah.
The Roughing It bedroll.
Yeah, I found one on the freeway, I believe, right before a Deathclaw trap.
Yep, there's one kind of leaned up on the freeway, but there's more than one, I think, right? And you can use them anywhere.
Oh, I only found one.
Yep,
oh, and
so
they're heavy as shit, too. They're like 15, 20 pounds a piece, something like that.
No, saving's got to cost you something.
But have you ever picked up a tent? If you're carrying a 20-pound tent, you need to buy a new tent. I guess if it's canvas and steel poles, then sure, it could be 20 pounds. I'm going to go check out.
I also missed the snow globe.
Yes. Yeah, you can get the one snow globe here.
I thought they only kept those to the
across
mainland. Huh.
I might have to backtrack because I know where it is on a shelf.
Yeah, you
and
can always go back
I think it's by the
in.
rest stop. I think it's down at the rest stop, actually. So, yeah, rest stop 7 is the area where it is.
Are they all in like touristy areas with gift shops or, gas stations around the corner or something?
No, some of them are just sitting on shelves.
In an office building or whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely have only found like 2 or 3 of those, I think.
Yeah. And some of them are sitting next to gravestones.
Yes, I found that one. Oh, a couple of graves coming out of the Lonesome Road. Are those graves significant at all? Should I bother going to get shovels and figuring out those?
I didn't come across them.
Oh, really? Okay, because it seemed like because when you come out right at the end, it's like there's a chest with a gift and a note from Ulysses and
those are
and there's 2 graves there and like a chest or something.
Yeah, that's just some basic loot.
Oh, okay.
Some bullets and some little maybe a stem pack or something.
Are there, besides Chance's knife, is there a significant grave treasure in the game? Is it ever worth carrying the shovel?
It's worth carrying the shovel until you get to about level 5. Because early on, you can get some decent loot. Like up at the Angsty Memorial, up around the Good Springs Cemetery, Chance's knife. But once you've got that cleared out, you really don't get that much. Usually some bullets and sundry supplies.
Very few bones.
Yeah, never any bones.
Never any
it's
bones.
Always so weird.
Oh, Ray, I saw there was an achievement getting yourself banned from all the casinos. Have you clicked that off yet?
I mean, I haven't, but of course Ray has. Ray got that early.
You've done that. Yeah, you got that.
I don't. I wouldn't know if I got the achievement or not.
Of course, you wouldn't care, but
you don't have the banner alert on, like full screen, going, Ray, you did it. You're a champion.
No.
And then I wondered, is that just the ones on the strip? Because like technically Prim has a casino, and you can't go to Reno, but other towns have casinos, not just the strip. So
just the ones on the strip, right? Does it include?
Is it? I don't know.
And the Atomic Wrangler
too.
included.
So
yeah, I think
and
it might.
Freeside.
It might include Prim, Atomic Wrangler, and all the ones on the strip. But that would be it.
Yeah, I don't think can you gamble at the Lucky 38? I don't think so.
Not the kind that would get you kicked out, right?
Think so.
Have I gambled at Vault 21?
You can play slots there for sure. Oh,
I thought they had card tables too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they do in the front room. Can you play on them? I haven't this playthrough. I haven't
Yeah,
done
I don't
them at
know.
all. Haven't done a lot of gambling this
I'm
playthrough.
pretty sure I've definitely been kicked out of all the casinos in the strip.
Mhm.
And you said people will do the same with Caravan, right? They'll stop playing Caravan with you if you.
Some will,
beat
but
them?
nobody
Well,
keeps
yeah,
playing.
yeah. Most characters will only play 5 hands of Caravan.
Oh,
with you.
5 hands period. Okay. Total? Like you can't reload 72
Yeah.
hours and
No.
wow.
But No Bark will definitely play with you continuously.
Keeps coming back for
No,
more.
it's that guy in Novak, right?
Yeah. And somebody else too. Who else was I playing with that you can keep playing over and over again? Yeah, I don't remember. It's easiest to play with No Bark because I stay at the hotel, or sorry, motel. And
Doors on the outside.
and maybe even Motor Lodge.
Ooh, classy. The free continental breakfast at the Motor Lodge.
So, but yeah, haven't had much chance to gamble lately. Once I came out of the big MT, that's when I had to hit it hard to get my cash back up. But now,
Are you flush now? You rolling after
Yeah,
all the
now
armor and shit?
I'm solid.
Beautiful. I'm feeling a little bit low on caps, but like I said, I'm loot gobbling everything, so I'm get to commissaries, and so I'm gonna leave with less caps than I came in with. But I had a good at least 50,000-60,000 caps going in, so I'm totally
Yeah.
fine.
But
Just double
especially
checking.
if you were loading up
You guys are
on
rich.
red glare.
Yeah, that's what I
Parts.
spent a lot of money on that stuff, but I'm trading back in to get it. So I'm double checking the caravan limits, and it seems like Ringo doesn't have a limit supposedly. Ambassador Crocker at the NCR, you can go back and talk to Ambassador Crocker, and he doesn't have a limit either. So you can keep playing him if you want, but he's like a couple loading screens deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them have a limit, like Lacey and Johnson Nash, and all the shopkeepers have a limit for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if that wraps that, do you want to get into some bits? I just got a few.
Oh, yes. I would love to hear the bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Morrowind, that is. 24 years old today from North American release.
Ah.
24 years ago, I played my first Bethesda game. So this is, it was pretty special for me. And it was probably a little bit longer because I didn't play Morrowind right when it came
I was
out.
going to say,
but it was in
on
the first few
release day, you
months.
played it? Nice.
Yeah. Nope. Nope. But I played it in 2002. So, sometime shortly after release, my first Bethesda game. 24 years. Y'all just don't crumble into dust. It's only, over half our lives or,
How
a good
did
portion of
you-
it.
How did you play Bethesda games as a 2-year-old, Jess? That's remarkable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. No, I played it on PC. Like, I didn't even play it on Xbox. Because it came out, Morrowind was released for OG Xbox and PC. And a lot of people's first exposure to Bethesda because of the wide release. I mean, obviously they had done several games before that, 2 in the Elder Scrolls series, plus, some mech battle games and a few other things. And yeah, but Morrowind it was a big undertaking, as we all know. And I say 2 in the Elder Scrolls, but Redguard came out ahead of Morrowind as well. Redguard was actually the first big game that Todd was on.
Don't
And then
forget
Morrowind
Arena
was the
now.
lead.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
Show
those two,
respect.
Arena and Daggerfall, were the first 2 in the ES series. Absolutely. But yeah, I still have my game, still have my map, the expansions on disc. For what it's worth, the CD-ROMs of all these old games. It's funny, like collecting physical media. I moved mostly digital a long time ago. Before a lot of console players who kept getting some physical stuff. I went digital pretty early on in the Xbox One generation, and of course, most PC players these days are digital too. But for those of us who did collect the physical, it's great to have. And so I still have a lot of the old physical, early Xbox 360 stuff and PC stuff, but no CD-ROM to even put it in most of the time. Like,
Yeah, how
Just-
you gonna do that?
right? It's why we rebuy them on GOG. Plus, thinking about it, I really hope the next Xbox has a Blu-ray player or a disc drive built in. because I know they're deprecating it in more and more PCs. I know consoles are using them less and less as well with digital, but it's not just a way to play old games we own. And like your Fallout 4, Andrew, you couldn't even play your Fallout 4 disc because it was giving you
Nope.
crap.
Yeah, I can't play Fallout. Yeah, I have to play the X version or whatever. It's stupid.
But it's not just the games, it's also our Blu-ray collections. Like, I don't know about the rest of you, but I still have a pretty big Blu-ray collection. And I don't want to go the way of my HD DVD collection because I also have one of those.
Blu-ray. I'm still back here in DVD land. She's spruced up
Oh
the
my
Blu-ray
goodness.
over here.
I have
Yeah,
like 40, 50 HD DVDs.
You've got some good computers, Jess. You need to set up a Plex server.
There we
Rip,
go. That's
rip
how we
all
do it.
those to your Plex server, and off you go.
Yeah, the local stuff, it is still better resolution. Like, I know we all have Netflix now and Amazon Prime and 800 subscription services, and you can stream 4K. But let's be real. A 4K stream or an 1080p stream, it never looks even as good as a crisp 1080p Blu-ray, let alone a 4K one.
My buddy John is a movie quality pierce. He likes the worst movies, but he likes them to look as good as possible. It's really odd.
Well, he wants to see
really
those
odd.
plastic prosthetics and fake blood and like perfect visual.
But he says the best watch, the best experience in the home theater is the Laserdisc, that big fucking 12-inch.
It was so good. It was
He
so
said
good.
it's just saturated with purity, or so. Like it's pound for pound the best looking movie you'll ever see.
You know,
He
I'm not saying anything
swears
about your
by it.
buddy,
He
and it may be the
collects
weed
them.
talking.
He has
I
hundreds
don't know.
of them.
but
Yeah.
but that said, Laserdisc was pretty good quality for sure.
He
For sure.
loved it.
The problem is about that is that our TVs back then could hardly reflect it. So you
Yeah,
had a
no shit.
Laserdisc, but you're plugging it into the old cathode
The
ray.
720, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's just that
Behind
niche of people, the same people who say like, "Oh, vinyl sounds so warm" or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like, the Laserdisc just has this certain quality to it that other media doesn't for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I've only seen a few things on Laserdisc, but of course had to see The Wall on Laserdisc and some
The Wall.
some old sci-fi stuff, 2001: A Space Odyssey, like all the classics.
Let's see, PBS Nova. I remember in elementary school, 4th or 5th grade, someone wheeling in the media cart and had the Laserdisc
You didn't have a
player
Laserdisc on a
on
media
it.
cart?
Yeah, I had the Laserdisc player, and they got out the fucking. It was so big, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And if you remember, they were sending kind of similar things up on spacecraft around that time, like the golden records that they have, like the universal sounds on and stuff. You have heard about that? Those golden records they send up into space in case an alien ever finds it or whatever. It's like
Funny, my media card had a 16 millimeter,
a film,
film projector.
a reel-to-reel camera where you had to thread the
Yeah, where you thread the film through
film
and
one-to-one. Yeah.
let it rip.
Good stuff. Everyone's spoiled with their Bluetooth and everything to a smart TV
Electronic
now.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, goodness knows, I like embracing the newer technology, and it's great. And I've been pretty much all digital for a long time. And it's funny how some physical stuff, like along the Bethesda lines, like they want to still have their stuff in stores, which great. That is why people still do some physical things in stores, because we want stores to sell games, but they've gone so far that a lot of times these days, all that is in the box
Is
is
a card,
like
a download card.
a little cartridge or yes, a code. Like they just released for the Switch 2. We get, we have the Fallout 4 on the Switch 2, and we've got the Skyrim on the Switch 2. They just released the physical code in a box edition. It's a full box, and inside the box you open it up and it's a code. And then you call it the physical code in a box edition. Like, why? Like, it's just so you can have something on the shelf at a store
It's
to
a
pick
new
up
edition
and pull
to
off
pick
and
up,
put in your
man.
cart. Oh,
For those completionists out there.
yeah, there are two reasons for physical. I mean, well, there are a lot of reasons for physical, but the reason that most collectors want physical is because it's something that will last, that will endure, that they can play even offline, blah, blah, blah. A lot of things cannot be played offline now. And the other reason for physical, for the manufacturers and the people selling it, is to have something in the store on the shelf you can sell. So they're still fulfilling that part. They're still fulfilling the impulse buy. Oh, you see it, you grab it. But they're not fulfilling the have it for posterity, pass it down for generations. Yo, this is my Skyrim disc that I played on, and so will your children hereafter. That's not happening
My
anymore.
original Skyrim disc doesn't play anymore. Honestly, come on,
Oh,
too
still have-
scratched up.
mine, please, my please. But anyways, happy birthday, Morrowind. We are just, reminiscing a little here. I just want to mention a little bit about Fallout 76 coming up. So people know that we've got the PTS happening on. They're working on infestations. They have already just made some adjustments to infestations. So they're gathering feedback. They're having a small conclave with a few people, kind of getting in, taking, first of all, the bug reports, stuff people put in on the PTS Discord. And then some people, they're having a little bit of a community council situation where they're having a meeting and kind of talking about what are we doing. Right now, they have rolled out a couple changes. So infestations, the bosses are being changed. So the bosses could kind of one-shot you in a few places. They are making it so the bosses can't quite one-shot you, but they're still quite tough. And they have a chance of dropping level 4 legendary. So they have given them level 4 legendary abilities, and they are making it so they're not nerfing the bosses, but the bosses were a little bit one-shotting people. So at least some of them. So they're fixing that up. They're also changing the radius thing. So previously I talked about how it was kind of neat. There's going to be stumble upon content, and then you can call your friends. Well, once discovered, it's now going to set up a bit of a radius. They're trying to do like a radius that you can see on the map once it has become active. So from there, while it is initially stumble upon still, as far as I know, it is going to have a radius that then other people can see so they can join the event to help take out the boss. So they're making the infestations a little bit more public than they were because testing on PTS, they said maybe this content is too hidden. And so these are little things they're tweaking. There will be more to come. So we'll see about that. In non-Bethesda news, but still related, I wanted to mention a few things. So first of all, a lot of us have enjoyed the Outer Worlds. When we played it when it came out, Outer Worlds 2 came out. Outer Worlds 2 we did not get into as much. I hardly spent any time with. Some people played all the way through. It was supposedly a great game. It did not make the splash Outer Worlds 1 made. And I think in the future it's going to be one of those undiscovered gems probably that people come back to. And I'll actually get further in and finish, hopefully. But if you have Outer Worlds in the DLC, the original version, you're going to get a free upgrade to the Spacer's Choice Edition. So for those who don't know, a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, they did a remaster of the first Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds, keep in mind, even though it was made by Obsidian, was not published by Microsoft and Xbox. It was published as a private division, was the label. A subdivision, I think it was owned by Take-Two. I'm forgetting the ultimate publisher owned it, but I believe it was Take-Two. They had a separate label imprint they set up for indie games or AA games called Private Division. Only a few games released on it, including Outer Worlds. So Obsidian moved on. They've done plenty of other things since then. But Private Division said, we want to remaster this. So they remastered it as the Spacer's Choice Edition, even though it only been like 3-4 years. But with, improved graphics, a few things like that. Now, initially it came out, it didn't run so well. They fixed it up. It's polished now. So if you have the original game and the DLC, you can now get Spacer's Choice Edition for free without buying it. So a little perk for you. There you go. I should also mention Game Pass changes. I complained about when Game Pass prices were raised. I don't know if I mentioned last week or not, but Game Pass prices dropped. They are now down to $22.99. Same price as a Netflix subscription now, too. Like, such a weird number. Not $19.99. $22.99. Yeah.
You $22.99 skidoo.
Exactly.
I noticed the Fallout stuff is all on sale. Whatever, they've got a sale going on this week. So, if you want the anniversary upgrade or whatever, it's like 30% off or something.
Good. Yeah, they've been doing periodic sales. I did not actually see that. Didn't have that in the news, so that's great to know. Get out there. There's not a sale on the Todd Bucks and Creations right now, as far as I know. But the way Creations are working, they periodically will put things on sale anyway. So it's always, if you're someone who wants to check out, the Creation Store and those kind of paid mods and stuff like that, those are happening off and on all the time. And occasionally they actually put the Creation credits, the Todd Bucks, on sale. And so that is when you should get them if you ever do. Because then it doesn't matter if the mod is on sale or not, because that's up to the individual authors. But, everything you get will be at a discount because you got your Todd Bucks at a discount.
Yeah.
And that usually happens around showcases and shows and such. So, but yeah, I just think it's I'm really happy the price was lowered of Game Pass. I think I probably did mention this last week, but I had reduced So I had lowered my level to premium about a month ago. Like I canceled my ultimate a month ago, but it didn't go into effect until around April 19th. Like 3 days before the changes were announced. 3 days before I finally, I lost everything. And I will tell you, in those 3 days, I was suffering. Ray, Andrew, I was suffering. Like, I'm just looking, I'm like, a couple of my games I had on deck, I couldn't play, they're no longer valid. And then I'd earn my reward points and they halved. You get half the amount of reward points for doing things for premium. So I complete my Game Pass 8 games instead of 560 points. I got 230, 280. Right?
Why even bother?
Why even bother? So I was miserable. I'm I screw saving money. I like getting points. And so I was thinking about going back, but I was being strong for at least 3 days. And
for 3 whole days.
Price cut. So yeah, I'd like to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jess. I'm the newest Ultimate subscriber. I'm back on the train, paying $22.99. I lasted about a week at the lower level.
Hi, Jess. Welcome to the group.
Thank you. And those badges, I've been a Game Pass member since it launched. I started in 2015 and in 2016, whenever Game Pass started, and it's member since. And now it says Ultimate member since April 2026. And I'm like, no, I've been on Ultimate since it launched. But anyway, it didn't start as Ultimate, but you know what I mean. Real bits, nothing to do with Xbox. Real bits.
Are you having to pay a higher rate now than you would have if you were grandfathered in, or?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just next to my name. It says member since with the wrong date. That's all.
Oh, what God, ripping out your heart.
Nobody cares.
This is like
Nobody
an achievement.
See, these are the things that matter to some of us. Things that actually matter. The Wasteland Jamboree is this weekend. And yeah, it's happening. Biggest East Coast Fallout event. Everything's going down. It's happening there in Sutton and Flatwoods at the KOA. A lot of friends are there. They've been posting pics of people traveling the last couple of days. So many events, panels, excitement. I'm sure most of you listening have seen some pics already and heard about it. But all the big events are Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, expect to hear news and stuff. And, for the people there, I'm sure we have some listeners actually attending too. So for the people attending, if you're hearing this after, I hope you had a great time. If you're hearing this during, you probably have better things to do. But hey, hi.
Yeah, quit listening to a podcast and get out there. What are you doing?
But it looks awesome. It's the cosplay I've seen. So much variety of cosplay. The gala is going to be excellent. I think I talked about the, what is it called? Brecken Miller or Brecken Fields role play experience. Going to have a lot of real life events. Mrs. Fallout, I need to shout this out. Mrs. Fallout is doing an auction. We retweeted it over on the Fallout feed account, of course. I should drop the link in here, but they're auctioning off holotapes designed by artists in the Fallout community for charity. So yeah, it's a big thing that Mrs. Fallout is running. So check that out. Bid on those. They're open for 2 or 3 days. And I think that's about it I can announce there. We'll know more after the fact. We'll have more photos to share and stuff. But the whole thing sounds awesome. And of course, if you want to know about some of the events, I believe it is now wastelandjamboree.com. I'm just double checking myself in order to, yep. But they gave them individual. So originally it was Fallout Fan Celebration, but now because Mojave Mayhem is West Coast, Wasteland Jamboree is East Coast, they each have their own domain website now too. They can get to either from both. But there you'll find more information about location and hours, guests, and they may be broadcasting some of the things live on Twitch and stuff. And so from that, you can probably click over here to get information on how that could work and where it's happening. There's going to be a film festival. There's a radiation fashion show and a cosplay contest and a carnival in Midway and all kinds of stuff. And that's it. That is it.
Interested in the radiation fashion show.
Right? Radiation fashion show. That's going to be Sunday, May 3rd from 3 to 4 p.m. in the amphitheater. And so, yeah, it's not a cosplay contest. It's simply showing off your best. Guys, you got to walk out on the rad carpet. Get it? It's not red, it's rad. It's so non-judged. Just
see.
Bring out your cosplay, walk the rad carpet, and show things off. Show your swagger with your swatter.
That's funny.
Speaking of which, Mo Cronin's going to be there. And he's got a swatter with him.
He's got a swatter?
Oh, yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just the whole event looks really cool. It's so many people going. Wonderful stuff. So that's it for the bits. I don't know if y'all have anything else for this weekend. I know everyone's going to rush out and get themselves the Dr. Pepper cream. Or
hell
if
yeah.
you don't drink diet, you can get all the flavors. Like Shovel in the chat, he doesn't drink diet.
Dirty
So you can
Dr.
get-
Pepper.
Yeah, get your Dirty Dew, get your Dr. Pepper berries and cream, berries and cream, berries and cream. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Just a quick update on the Fallout music tribute album that we're working on. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 songs started. And I've done a little bit of research on length of sides possible on cassette tape. And at this rate, I'm going to need about 26 more songs in order to fill up a tape. So if you have any other favorite Fallout songs, I'll post the poll out a couple more times and just see if there's, because I guess I like to play songs
Got some good ones.
fast or something. I don't know.
You do a little. You
but
do.
I like that. But so I'm gonna see. Let's put on all the Fallout songs. And then I was thinking, did Fallout 1 and 2 have this same sort of like soundtrack?
No,
What did
that
they have
didn't come in until
music
later.
wise? Okay, that was 3 where they started doing that.
You know what they did have though?
What's that?
What's that? That Dr. Pell?
Oh, they had that Dr.
That's that
Pepper.
Dr. Pell.
Yeah, they did.
That's
They were
a
asking
Dr.
for it in chat. We were
Pepper.
talking about it and I was playing it.
Oh, I'm on my new soundboard. I just haven't switched over all the sounds to the old soundboard. So, but yes, thank you for hitting that. That's that Dr. Pepper. Beautiful. All right. You guys have anything else you want to chat about this evening? Then, in that case, I will say, hey, you can find Ray at RayLB and also his No Man's Sky show at BBC ISSS for the Butcher, Baker, Candlemaker in Space. Ray, thank you so much for hopping on.
Good times.
Jess can be found at Sleep is 4T for all of her many projects. And probably in the next week or two, look for that Frogs update over there on YouTube. Go check that out.
2 days. I know it's not out yet. 2 days. Sunday. Maybe Monday, but hopefully Sunday.
All right. Jess, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, all.
Alrighty. Have fun, everyone out there at the event. Be safe and be merry. I would like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Shoot faster, explode more. What's that? Oh, it was like a little claw machine hand. Rah, rah.